Welcome to the Smark Foundation podcast. I'm Aaron. This is Adam.
Oh, hi, Marks.
And we are here to cover the best and worst of AEW for the last week. And this week is like a really slow news week, but
Yeah,
one pretty prominent AEW related story is that there seems to be, and we've discussed this a little bit in the past, but it seems like there is a more substantial rumor now that Mick Foley might be joining All Elite Wrestling at some point in the future.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all for it,
Me too.
personally.
Me too. Um, I don't know what role he would play exactly. I mean, obviously he's not going to be wrestling. Um,
No,
but
I wouldn't want him to.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what role he would play exactly. But I don't really care. Give the man a job. Like
Yeah,
he could produce matches. He could be on commentary. He could be somebody's manager. Darby comes to mind, because he's not really that great on the mic. But like he could be anybody. You could insert him into the FTR Cope and Cage feud because he has massive amounts of lore and history with Copeland.
it's true. That's
Um,
true.
it just there's a lot of things he could do, and there's a lot of lore behind him that we could play with because they're not shy about playing with WWE lore
Yeah,
at
you
all.
could you could throw him in the Moxley thing
Yeah.
and kind of make up for the fact that they were supposed to have a program that is established. Before the Shield, the original plan was that Mick Foley was Dean Ambrose was still in NXT, and he or FCW or whatever it was, and he was going to get the call up, and he was going to have this match with Foley, and the idea about it being that he was going to blame Foley for brainwashing a generation to have to feel like they needed to destroy their bodies in like deathmatch type situations in order to become big stars.
Yeah.
And he's like, this whole generation, and I blame you for that. Um, and they even, if I remember correctly, had an interaction, a planned interaction in a hotel room where they started to get the ball rolling for this. And then Mick couldn't get cleared. He couldn't get physically cleared for a match. And if that's where this whole thing was leading. So what was the point if he couldn't do it? So they just canned it. And then a few months later, the Shield became a reality. It was like 6 months later, Shield became a thing,
Yeah.
and it went in that direction. But like there was, a kind of a what could have been in that regard. I mean, imagine the promo wars between those two. You would have to have Foley have some kind of advocate
Yeah.
or avatar or whatever.
You know,
Um,
so that actually gave me an idea
yeah,
for how we use Foley. So we insert Foley in the Mox and Osprey storyline. And what we do is we have Osprey get too close to the sun, as it were, with not only taking on John Moxley's advice and fighting style and training and everything, but also maybe his attitude. Like maybe we find Osprey finding himself becoming a little too vicious, a little too uncaring, a little too like maybe Moxley's rubbing off on him too much. And the foil to that is Foley, who
Mr. Have a
is
nice day.
who is every bit the deathmatch wrestler that fucking John Moxley is, probably more, probably,
Yeah,
but is still a very nice and caring and ethical person.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it would be a great
There's
way
that.
because then we could get promos between Foley and Moxley. Moxley like, you're not fucking up my project. And Foley being like, I'm not fucking up anything. I'm just reminding this guy that he's a nice person despite who he becomes in between the ropes.
Yeah.
And that's, it's always been my thing. I'm just a nice guy. How could you possibly hate me for doing this?
Yeah. I like that. I currently don't know, and we'll talk about this later, which is like obviously like art is like the thing that we say on most episodes the most often. We'll talk about this later. We'll get to this later. But we really will when it comes to Osprey. Like I'm not really sure. We know he's in the Owen. We know he's probably going to win the Owen. We don't know really how Moxley fits into the storyline that goes from there.
I have this weird sneaking suspicion, and lately this has been happening to me a lot, where like I will think something, and sometimes it will happen immediately. Like the other night when I was like, this would be a great time for the Guns to show back up, and then they did. Like, and then there's other times where like I'm like, oh, this will be a great time for this, and then it happens. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I'm on the same wavelength as Tony Khan at the moment,
Yeah.
I have this weird sneaking suspicion that we are going to crown Will Ospreay the AEW World Champion at Wembley.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best move.
Because I mean, I think that might have been the plan all along, but like just playing into the headcanon of ours that somebody over there is listening to us, because they often follow the same train we do, and then there's like a switch in there somewhere where it like throws even us off, or we're like, oh crap, we didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
What if we're going to crown Will Ospreay as AEW World Heavyweight Champion as a heel?
See, like I feel like that's the wrong move. Like you're doing it in his home country. Let them have nice things.
Now, hold on a second, because I can actually point to a historical thing where this works exactly the way we're playing it out. Like it's in his home country, it's in his hometown. He's going to win the title as a heel, and he's still going to get fucking cheered because he's in his hometown and he's in his home country, because this happened with Brett. Like when when the Hart Foundation were doing their thing, they were super faces in Canada and heels everywhere else.
Yeah.
And what if Will's going to be like, it's just like that. He's a super face in England because that's their boy, and he's a heel here. And we have historical precedents for it. And it's because it's the Hart Foundation. It's definitely a historical precedence that Tony Khan is intimately familiar with.
Well, here's the deal. Like, I feel like you want everybody who watches the show, whether they're in the audience or they're watching on TV, to have the same cathartic moment, right?
Yeah.
Historically speaking, and All In, good guys have won in the end, right?
Okay.
I really think that, considering this is like their biggest show of the year, I really do think Tony wants to send the crowd home happy. Like you said, it would, they're going to cheer for him either way, but I don't know if you get your story point across if the heel wins and he's getting cheered by 70,000 people.
Now,
you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I mean that the greater story point, like this is a bad thing that he won because he is a bad person. Yeah. This is our guy. This is our guy. Like,
hold on though, because there's two things here I can cite. One that's happened over the past week, and I'm sure you've probably seen a little bit of it as well, and then another that is historical. Okay, MJF was a heel and he was our scumbag. Okay, there's your historical right there. Okay, he was a bad guy. Him winning the championship is objectively bad, but that was our scumbag. Okay. Now, hold on, because here's where it gets really interesting. Here's the part that I think makes this interesting, and probably where we can end it as far as the discussion goes for right now, until we kind of see how things go. But I have seen in the past week a lot of people, and it's probably a small, it's probably actually a relatively small number, but I curate my skyline in such a way that I have a pretty good subsection of every type of AEW fan on my thing. And now it's crossing like subsections, this thing where I am seeing AEW fans who love Darby Allin and love AEW, but are getting mad quickly fed up with the Darby Allin title run. Not they're not saying that now. Here's the crazy part: none of them are saying it's bad across the board. This is even if it ends on Wednesday with Speedball, which it's not gonna. Spoiler alert,
It's
folks.
not gonna.
Even if it does end on Wednesday, which is it won't. They're saying it's an epic title run. It's one of the best ones, and I do not fucking disagree. Okay,
Yeah,
I
me
don't.
neither.
Where I disagree with them because I am not in this boat is that they're tired of the way it's being presented. These people were calling before the Takeshita match like there's no effing universe where Darby Allin can beat Konosuke Takeshita. And I generally would agree with that, except for I know that that's the plan right now. Like anybody they throw in front of him, it doesn't matter who it is, at least until we get to Double or Nothing, they're going to lose. And I'm sorry that it was going to be Okada or Takeshita that had to take that loss because I don't believe it should have been. Because I don't
honestly,
believe it should have been. I thought the match was great, but I don't believe that should have happened.
I don't. I want to make it clear that whatever family issue that Okada needed to go back to Japan for, I wish it hadn't happened because, it probably is very stressful and a negative thing that he had to experience. For the storyline, I'm kind of glad that it wasn't Okada and that it was Takeshita, because Takeshita going for the world title and losing doesn't hurt him. Okada, as a champion, losing to another champion doesn't hurt him all that much, but it still hurts him in his credibility going into a title defense.
Sure.
How do you make both of them look strong? I think that it was, honestly, I think the match probably would have been, that we got was probably going to be better than the match that he would have had with Okada anyway.
Yeah.
So, because Takeshi is a more dynamic performer at this moment in time than Okada is, who has, as part of his heel character, deliberately slowed things down. He's still very, very good.
Yeah. But
it wasn't, this match with Takeshi, we'll go over it very soon, and it was ludicrous. It was amazing.
But I think my point is that what if we are cheering heel Ospreay winning the AEW World Championship because the sentiment of being tired of Darby Allin's title run has gone all the way to All In? What if he beats MJF at Double or Nothing? And then continues this completely indestructible streak. Like, in what world do we get to All In and are still happy with the way this is being presented, and then are not cheering Will Ospreay even if he's a heel? I
think you've got something there, because I think this is working for me right now because I have a very good feeling that it's, like we said last week, he's not here for a long time. He's here for a good time. Yeah. This is supposed to pack as much action into one short title reign as possible to make Darby credible as a world champion.
Yes.
Without having him need to have a long reign.
Yeah.
He's getting over on work rate. He's getting over on, action. He's getting over on the world champion defending his title twice a week. For several weeks in a row.
Crazy. I don't think a lot of courage. Okay, so if you're listening to us and your birth year starts with a 2, you probably don't actually understand historically how fucking wild that is. World champions have not defended their title twice a week since the territory days. Okay. Yeah. And back then, I'm still not sure. I know Ric Flair was probably working 7 days a week, but I'm not sure he was actually defending his world title 7 days a week. And if he was, still, there is a large historical gap between him and Darby Allin doing
Yeah.
that exact same thing, basically. And the only reason Darby's not doing it 7 days a week is because he's constrained to 2 days a week because he's contracted to a company that does not
Yeah.
have a worldwide massive set of affiliates that he has to placate day in and day out. And I guarantee if it was Darby's choice, he probably would have defended this thing 14 times by now.
And not to discount the specifically the NWA traveling champions of old and their schedule at all. They're working a much different style than Darby Allin, who is literally throwing his body to the wind and just letting it fall where it's gonna. Like, he took he trusted Takeshita with his body to the point where he took a German suplex from the top rope, landing square on his shoulders and a neck, and with the bridge. So it wasn't even like he could distribute the impact by flattening out. He didn't do the thing where he did the moonsault off of it and landed on his stomach. He didn't do the thing where he flipped out and landed on his feet to negate the thing. No, he landed full on like you would a normal German suplex, except he did it from the top 12 feet in the air. So, like, what are we? This is not the same.
Yeah,
this is not the same as those territory days.
So I think a good way to wrap
this isn't headlocks and arm drags for 60 minutes, okay?
So I think a good way to wrap up our non-news segment, aside from the Mick Foley thing, is that, like, I understand if you're out there and you're one of these people who are growing tired of the Darby Allin title run already. I understand your sentiment. I see your point. I do see it from your point of view, and I understand. I'm not discounting you feeling the way you feel. Okay. However, I would counter by reminding everyone that if you like Darby Allin at all, you should do well to enjoy the fuck out of him while he is still wrestling in front of your face on a weekly basis, twice a week, because this man is not going to be here wrestling like this when he is 50. It is not going to fucking happen. I wish he would be, and by the grace of God, he will be, but I don't fucking think so. Okay. He is giving us everything he has, like, off the jump. He's gonna eventually, he wrestles a very dangerous style. The rate of not being injured is 0% in the style of wrestling that he does. I'm sorry. In wrestling in general, the rate of non-injury is 0%. There is not a single person in the AEW locker room who does not have a nagging something. Okay. Yeah. Everybody's got at least one injury, and some people probably have multiple. The least injured person is probably Will, and that's because he just got back. But I guarantee he's already got an acre of pain from something he's done since he's been back.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not saying he's going to die out there. He may not. He may not die in the ring, okay? It's very likely that he won't. He knows what the fuck he's doing out there. He can take a 12-foot German suplex, okay? He knows what he is doing.
Yeah.
But he does shit with such intensity and such speed and such dedication and passion. Like, you can see it in the way he wrestles, and he's not going to be with us for 30, 40 years like some of these other guys. Just not going to be the way it is. He may be alive, but he's not going to be doing this that we're watching for very long. So enjoy it while we got it. If you like it, fucking enjoy it now. Okay? Yeah. Because pretty soon we're going to be watching old episodes of AEW and being like, man, I miss Darby Allin. And I hate to say it that way because, like I said, it doesn't mean he's going to be dead. And I don't wish any ill on his fucking career, but he said it himself. And other people who know way more about wrestling than I'll ever know have also said this. This is not like an unknown thing or something that, like, we all, shouldn't be aware of. But just remember that when you're talking about, like, if that you already think that this title run is gone its fucking course, like, think about what you're saying, because this may be the only one of these we get. I
It
hope not,
probably will be.
but it probably will be. Yeah, there's so many people so deep, and Darby knows that, and he's well acquainted with his position on the card and how he's viewed by people, and the fact that he's like one of the guys in AEW who's going to be over forever, no matter what he does, basically. So like
Yeah.
he has no illusions about who he is, and he doesn't need a fucking world title to make him feel worthy. So once he's gotten rid of it, he won't campaign to get it back like other people do.
Yeah.
He will just wait if Tony Khan decides to give it to
The
him again.
most important thing to him, and I believe it when he says it, even, he'll cut promos or whatever, but I do believe that these are comments that he's making that are informed by his actual emotions. Is that the most important thing to him was that he gets to wrestle and be the kind of wrestler that he wants to be, be authentic, to be himself, to express himself in his chosen field of art the way that he wants to, and AEW allows him to do that. That's what he cares about. He doesn't care about belts. He doesn't care about. I mean, he cares about money to the extent that he gets paid. And as those injuries pile up, I'm sure that he's going to care about money a little bit more. But but he's not. He doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who. He's appreciative that the company has, been put on his back, and he's been entrusted with that. Because at the end of the day, that's what. Unless you're like a transitional champion, and you're just there with the specific purpose of moving the belt from one guy to another, because for whatever reason you can't figure out a way to do it more directly. Except in those circumstances, what being a world champion really means is that the company that has crowned you that and booked you to be that entrusts you with carrying the company on their shoulders. Or on your shoulders. So, I don't think Darby takes that lightly. I think that he's very proud that the company has entrusted him with that. But I don't think that he was ever a guy who ever had it as a goal personally in his own life. Oh, I want to be world champion one day. No. I don't think he ever cared about that. No, I think he just wants to paint the paintings he wants to on the canvas that he wants to.
Yeah.
That's it.
Now I would say that, like, barring a win at Double or Nothing, he should probably take a freaking vacation.
I think he's earned it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I know you just like got back from Everest, or it seems that way, but it has been like a year almost now.
Yeah.
Like, take a break, dog. Like, especially after this title reign. Like, please, for fuck's sake, take a break after this title reign. Like, go get some rest, man. Holy hell. Like, he is.
God's sake, don't get in any car stunts.
Stay out of, just get out.
Stay away from the Jackass boys. Stay away from Tony Hawk.
Don't go to New York at all.
Just stay at home.
In fact, don't go anywhere that has a public bus system of any kind.
Oh, there's that too.
Yeah, like just chill at home or something. I know that's not gonna happen. Okay, I know, but like, we have maybe another one of these. That being said, we'll kick it over to Dynamite for the week. Well, I mean, hold on a sec, because we've been kind of doing these, kind of not. Do we have a ship limit this week?
I considered it, but it was early last week, and it wasn't really so much of a lib as just like a bad faith wrestling fan. So I was like, no, don't worry about it.
Jackass.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, you sent it to me on Tuesday.
Yeah, it wasn't like.
Oh yeah, they asked if AEW was a MAGA X thing, and that's just being ignorant. I can't really be mad at you for being ignorant, unless you have no intention of fixing it.
You can't know what you can't know until you're informed otherwise.
Yeah, it's an unknown. They
were hardly informed.
Yeah, for that person, it's an unknown, and that's excusable.
Yeah, I mean, they don't need us to pile on in this case.
Yeah, in this case,
In this case,
they didn't. What they said didn't offend me. They asked a question. Questions don't offend me.
they asked a
Um,
question, and I don't think it was even in bad faith.
no, I don't think
That's
so
the
either.
thing. It was genuine ignorance as opposed
Yeah,
to willful ignorance,
correct. Yeah.
which
So
I can't hold people accountable for stuff that they don't know if
yeah,
they have a reason to not know it.
yeah. You're not a wrestling fan, so you don't understand the difference. I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I can't be mad at that person. So anyway, Dynamite. But
Yeah.
we're from Asheville, North Carolina.
Yep.
Um,
Where FTR is built from,
and
where apparently Adam Copeland set down roots with Beth. So yeah, a
yeah,
lot of stuff. I think the only reason that they booked this opening match with FTR and Adam Copeland was so that FTR would get booed. Because if there was only one way that they were going to get booed in their hometown, it was that face the other quote unquote hometown boy.
yeah, yeah.
But that's really not what starts off the show.
No, what starts off the show is Renee Paquette trying to get a word with MJF as he comes into the building. And she asks about him putting his hair on the line. And then,
Completely ignores her.
yeah.
I felt like Renee probably should have been a little bit more miffed that he just totally walked away from her.
Yeah.
But, nitpick. Because I think she nearly corpsed.
Yeah.
Because I think she knew what was about to happen. This is one of the best opening segments I think I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. So I've got a list. I've got basically everybody I could name who was in this. Okay.
Yeah.
But before I say that, I want to let y'all know that there were at least like 9 AEW crewmen and backstage people in this that I could not name. So every name I name here plus 9 others.
Yeah. I think the total is like 19 people.
Yeah,
I think somebody
something
counted
like
it all
that.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had Rick Knox walks by.
He's the first one.
He's the first guy, and he's bald. And MJF is like,
He walks through in the background, and it's kind of, nonchalant. It's like, okay, well, that's just kind of, okay, well, that's kind of funny. That that's ironic that happened.
Yeah, because
then he walks away.
And Christopher Daniels.
Yeah, MJF walks away, and that's when he starts encountering all these other baldies, and then you see, I see what you're doing. I get it.
This was the best sight gag on a wrestling show in a long time. Like, this was so fucking funny.
You know what makes
dying.
it? You know what made it so effective too, and so much better than stuff like that. That had been done in the past is that, like, the WWE way of doing things, and I know that this is the way that they've done things because this is the way they've done things in the past. Instead of doing something like this, which is much more sight gag, it's a little more cerebral. They'll just go on and be like, they'll do a thing in the ring, be like, this is what my opponent is going to look like after I shave their head. And then they'll just put up a photo that's photoshopped of them. It's like, it's far more broad strokes. It's far more obvious. This was more subtle, more sophisticated, and it made use of a lot of guys who don't get a lot of TV time. So, I mean, there you go.
Yeah. So he's walking through. Rick Knox walks by him first, and then he's walking through, and he comes across Bryce Remsburg and Christopher Daniels and Sanjay Dutt, all bald. And then he walks past them, and then John Silver walks by him. Hey, Johnny Hungy sighting.
Flexes a pose.
yeah, he flexes. And then Tommaso Ciampa's standing there. He blows him a kiss.
Yeah, he pulls his hat off to reveal the non-reveal, since we already know that he's bald.
Yeah, we know. And then MJF runs into Ricochet, who takes off his hat, to remind us that he's bald, like we need a reminder. And tells MJF that he's going to look great bald, but not as good as him.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like it when heels heel on other heels. Like, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like, they bully each other. Like, why are any heels friends? Why don't they all just bully each other? That's what heels do, right? Like,
Exactly. I've never understood like the trope, and I don't know if this is just a WWE trope or it's just that up until relatively recently, historically speaking, that they were just the only game in town, and so I just noticed it there more. I can't remember if this was like a WCW thing as well, but like historically speaking, baby faces don't have friends, even though they're the likable ones.
mhm.
But heels have tons of friends, even though they're bastards.
Yeah,
Like,
no idea how this works.
like I don't understand the logic, and like I understand the logic in having a team of guys having to beat the virtuous hero because they can't do it without cheating. I understand the morality play logic of that, but when you like analyze it for 2 seconds, it doesn't make sense from a real interpersonal standpoint. It's like,
Right.
why? Like, yeah, they're d bags who hang out with each other and bond over their douchebaggery, but why do the baby faces not have any friends? They're the good people that people would want to hang around with.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
come? I mean, I understand why nobody wanted to be John Cena's friend because John Cena's a bad friend.
Yeah.
Ask ask literally anybody who ever teamed up with him. Like, ask Zack Ryder.
Yeah.
John Cena macked on that guy's girlfriend and then blamed her and then stood around while a fascist mayor in a mask threw him off the stage in a wheelchair.
He did do that. Yeah,
all while having
friend.
this face. And I know that this is a podcast and you're not going to see my face, but for Aaron's benefit, it was this face. It's like this dumb, like, how could I have prevented that? How could anybody prevent? You're John Cena.
Do whatever you want.
Do you know who you are? You have the thickest of plot armor that I have ever seen of anybody in wrestling history. And you couldn't have prevented this. You are a terrible friend. Terrible, terrible friend.
Terrible.
John Cena. Just terrible. But yeah, baby faces should have friends. And you know what? Adam Copeland has friends. He is conglomeration adjacent. He is elite adjacent now with teaming up with the Young Bucks in this match. Christian Cage is sort of his friend. Christian Cage is the one heel on the babyface team.
Yeah. He is so heelish. It's so hilarious.
But he heals on the other heels.
Yeah.
Like you were talking about.
Makes it even better. Like, see, he's a real heel. He heals on everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he wouldn't shake anybody's hand. He's like looking at everybody all weird. Like, don't touch me.
You could make a case that he's the best actual heel in the company, but he's fighting on the babyface side, and that's funny to me. Yeah. But yeah, MJF after running into Rico, he's just like shook. Like he's shook and he walks away. And then we get this big 10-man tag: Adam Copeland, Christian Cage, Orange Cassidy, and the Young Bucks versus FTR, Tommaso Ciampa, and the Dogs.
The Dogs.
I still hate the name, but I like these two as a tag team.
I like them as a tag team. I kind of wish they would stop shoving them in everything, though.
Yeah, they're really. TK must really, really like these guys.
He must, because he keeps putting them in everything.
Yeah. I do like the dynamic they have. Like, I think I've said this before, but it's like Clark Connors is just like this psychopath, this legitimate psychopath.
Yeah. And
David Finlay is just like his enabler. His enabler. Like, he likes the chaos, and he's the only one that the psychopath listens to, and he likes the power that gives him. Yeah. Like, that's the energy. And like, because you see when they do the little backstage things before their entrance, Clark Connors is always the one that's like roughing up the the stagehand there,
Yeah.
and then Finley just like walks away with a smirk on his face, like like
Yeah.
I didn't plan that, but that's great. Like he revels in the chaos that Clark Connors creates,
Yeah.
and it's like it's very clear that he's the brains. David
Yeah.
Finley is the brains, and Connors is his attack dog, really.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that dynamic. Ultimately, I also like that neither one of them is Gabe Kidd. So
That's fair. That's fair.
That's just going to be a running thing with me. I that's their baseline. As long as you're not Gabe Kidd.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the match. Even though, I mean, we know what a party match is, and we know, like, everybody just kind of got their shit in. It was given enough time, at least for that, you know. But these guys all getting their shit in, I mean, it was all in ways that, like, they're able to continually come up with a new way to work in a Shatter Machine, or a new way to work in an Orange Punch, or a new way to, like, you know,
my
pull
favorite
off
spot,
the stun dog, you know, all
my
kinds
favorite
of stuff.
spot of this match was when everybody was on the outside except for Orange Cassidy and Christian Cage, who were in there, and he puts his hands in his pockets and encourages, he encourages Christian Cage. No, he starts to put his hands in his own pockets, and Christian Cage is like, no, enough of that nonsense. But then Orange turns it around, takes Christian's hands, and put his hands in his pockets.
Yeah.
And then Cage is just like, and then he puts his hands in his pockets. And he's encouraging Christian Cage to, like, do a dive with him to the outside. And so he's ramping up. He's, like, stomping the mat. And Cage just takes him by the collar and by the waistband and just hurls him over the top rope. It worked well with everybody's gimmick and character, and it was so funny.
Yeah.
It was
Orange Cassidy's just trying to be silly, and Christian's like, I am not doing this shit, kid. But I am going to help you in diving onto the enemy. Here, let me help you.
See, like, Christian Cage is kind of like a mirror image of David Finley. David Finley is the father who lets his kids do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And encourages them to be their worst selves. Christian Cage has no time for any of that. No. And no patience for any of that.
Nope.
They're both bad dads, but in completely mirror opposite ways. And I kind of like that dynamic in this match too.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was really fun. The faces pick up the win here.
Another great spear by Copeland too.
Oh yeah, Copeland.
He speared Connors out of his freaking boots,
dude. Yeah, he did. Like
he destroyed that man.
It was really good too, because, like, they've been doing this a lot, where they, like, do the orange punch and it sets them up into the spear because it sends them, you know, back around the other direction. Connors is really good at positioning himself.
He's got excellent timing. He's a great salesman. Takes great bumps.
Oh yeah, like, he made this thing look like it killed him.
Yeah,
like, it was great.
I don't know what it is about this particular part of his run, but Edge finally figured out how to spear somebody and make it look good.
It's looking great.
Yeah, so
just keep them on the ground. None of this on the ladder shit. Just keep those on the ground, bud. All right,
please. Like, save the ladder stuff for All In.
Yeah,
still looking forward.
Still don't jump off the ladder. Okay,
please don't do that.
Still don't do that.
We don't need you to break your leg again.
Right. Let the younger guys jump off onto you.
Tony Khan.
Yeah.
Tony Khan. If they insist on doing that during the ladder match, make sure that you schedule a title switch, so that Adam Copeland and Christian Cage don't win or don't retain the belts at All In. Because if he does a spear from the top of something, he is going to break his leg again, and you'll have to vacate the belts anyway. Just figure out who's going to win other than those two at All In.
Yeah, let's get ahead of this right away.
Get ahead of it, because you know it's going to happen.
Right. After that match, we had Ospreay's latest session with the Death Riders. They
Oh.
this was like him and Moxley on the roof shirtless.
Yeah.
Pretty much
No,
the whole deal.
and we continue with the real dad energy
Yeah.
with Moxley giving this really, really, really insightful, really good, dad advice type speech to Ospreay, saying that when you were in the best Super Juniors, you were a bird and you flew high because that's what birds do. You were born to do that. But now you need to be a different kind of bird. You have to be a bird of prey, which ultimately is what an osprey is, for the record. In fact, it's one of the most widespread birds of prey on Earth.
Yeah.
For the record. Feeds mainly on fish, but and it's in its own genus too. It's not like super closely related to hawks or eagles. Actually, I know a thing or two about birds. But point is that really, really insightful stuff. Like, you get the sense that Mox, actually gives a crap about Will. And then immediately after this really, really thoughtful, fatherly advice, he's yelling to Yuta, "Hey, you stop that right now. If you're going to do something, do it right." Like, very, very, very dad energy.
Very dad energy. Yeah, that part, I was like, oh, man.
I thought this was really compelling stuff. Like, I don't know where this is going anymore.
I don't either, man.
But I'm okay with it for now. I want to see some. By the end of Forbidden Door, I want to see where this is going, though. I want to see the road ahead.
I'm hoping we at least get a really nice signpost at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, although I imagine I know what's going to be on Mox's plate for Double or Nothing. As of right now, he's got nothing. So
I hope
Death Riders, none of them have anything going on at Double or Nothing at the moment.
Yeah.
So I feel that'll probably change. I imagine that most of the Death Riders will probably be on a 0-hour, like 8-person tag match or whatever. And as for Mox, we'll talk about that when we get to Collision.
Yeah. After that, we've got Ricochet talking about Stadium Stampede, and we learned that along with Mark Davis, he will also have Andrade and the Dogs. So
Andrade doesn't look like super jazzed to be put in this position.
I wonder where this is going to be on the card, because is this after Konosuke completely implodes the family with Okada, or is this going to be before Konosuke implodes the family with Okada and Andrade starts and lets the first domino fall by imploding part of the family during this match? Because he's fucking sick of being treated like the second class guy, because he is good.
If it was me, I would open the show with it. I would open the show with Stadium Stampede, because if the big angle is the world title match with Darby probably losing and ending his epic, if short, title reign, you bookend it with the big stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, it's what Jericho says. It's like, if you're not the main event, then you want to be on first. That's the order. It's like main event, first on the show, middle of the show, to like ideally if you're in a like an indie or something before intermission, like the main event before intermission. Which I'm gonna say right now, I've talked about this on Blue Sky a little bit, but here I'm gonna sidetrack a little bit and talk about, I think there should be an intermission. I think there should be a halftime on these pay-per-views.
I would normally agree, but they're already really long.
No, I mean, force him to alter how he presents it. Oh. I'm not saying add that time. I'm saying incorporate that time into the slot you already have. People need to pee without wanting to miss anything.
Yeah.
Both in the arena and at home. Like, if you want to, like, what he's always saying that he wants to have it a more sports like style presentation, what's more sports than halftime?
Yeah.
You get a couple of, whoever you've got on the 0 hour as analysts and contributors, RJ City and Jeff Jarrett and Renee Paquette and all them. You have them do like a little panel right in the middle of the
Yeah.
show that's optional for you to
Yeah.
watch. Have them cover what you've already seen, so it's not like have them prime you for what's coming up. The people in the stands won't know what they're talking about, but it doesn't matter because they're there for the show. They're going to see it.
Yeah.
Like,
And they need to go to the bathroom and stuff. Like,
they
I can
need to
pause
pee.
it at home. I can just pause it. And even if I pause 10 times to pee during the course of a 4-hour show, all I got to do is take like a 30-minute blue sky moratorium, and I don't have to freaking get spoiled or
Yeah.
anything like that. It doesn't affect my watching it all. But if you're stuck in a seat at the live event, yeah, that 15, 20, 30 minutes,
Especially on these shows where like there's pressure because the shows are so good.
Yeah, like
You
where
don't
do
wanna
you take a
miss
piss
anything.
break? Yeah.
You don't want to miss anything. So
Do you
like,
got time between matches to run? And most of the time the answer is no. Like you get halfway up the stairs to go to the bathroom and somebody's music plays and you're like, shit.
yeah,
Like,
I think it would be a gesture of goodwill towards the fans in attendance and even at home. Like it may ruffle some feathers at first, but I think people would get used to it. And honestly, like I'm in favor of it. Like if you're having a bunch of people over to watch, you don't necessarily want to be pausing it all the time as people need to go to the bathroom so that people don't miss anything. Just schedule that time.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the show. This is when it's going to be. Get people conditioned to expect it. People can go there, can get food or whatever.
Yeah. It would be a good idea. I mean, yeah.
But I'm climbing off my soapbox now.
But yeah, so now we do know who the 7-on-7 teams are for Stadium Stampede. Yep. And still have no idea how they managed to pull this off with a stadium full of people.
Yeah, I don't know. Like there have only been 2 other Stadium Stampede matches. One where there were no people because it was during the height of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And the second one was the following year where they were at Daly's place for the show, but they were at the stadium where the Jags play, which is like attached in the same complex, right?
Yeah.
And so most of it was cinematic and taped beforehand, most likely. I don't think it was live. But then they had, towards the end of that match and the show too, I think it closed the show. The end of that match, the participants made their way down to the ring, so it ended in the ring.
Yeah.
What are they going to do here? We've never had the situation where there were fans in attendance in the same building.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea how it's going to happen. I imagine it's probably just going to be Anarchy in the Arena without the music and just in a bigger building.
Yeah.
They can't call it Anarchy in the Arena because it's not an arena, it's a stadium. So, I mean, they could call it that, but then, honestly, I get why they wouldn't. It's like, a stadium is bigger than an arena. You don't want to small time yourself by calling it Anarchy in the Arena. So it's Stadium Stampede, even though,
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I'm interested to see how it works out.
I just hope somebody brawls up in my section. That's all I care about.
I would say the chance, with it being 7-on-7, I'd say the chances are pretty good.
Pretty high.
Yeah.
I've got pretty decent seats, too, so I think the chances are pretty good.
Yeah. Probably just fantastic, actually.
But yeah, that was that. After that was Speedball. Mike Bailey comes out with his partner, Kevin Knight. And guess what? This time, the partner actually sticks around.
Yeah.
Instead of just leaving once the stage stuff is done. Like, I hate that it's like, oh, accompanied by his tag team partner, and then they don't stick around.
Yeah, they just
Are they really
leave.
being accompanied?
No, they're not.
No, no, they're
No,
not.
that person is just being seen on the television screen for 2 seconds.
Yes. But Speedball beats a guy named Westbrook.
Westbrook, yeah,
Westbrook.
West.
Who would be our giant condor except for somebody else that we're going to
Yeah,
find later on.
yeah,
Somebody a little bit more notable as a name.
yeah,
That is an interesting bit there, but that's for
yeah.
Collision.
Westbrook.
Westbrook. It sounds like a British boy band from the early aughts.
Yeah.
It's like Westlife.
Like if you're only gonna buy one name, that ain't the one. But sorry,
Yeah.
that ain't it.
You know, I kind of liked the guy. I felt really bad when he was doing, because he was getting some acrobatic stuff in, some impressive stuff, and then he just kind of got caught up in the ropes. I felt so bad for the guy.
Yeah.
It's like, like he was trying so hard to impress with the 2 minutes that he had, and
Yeah.
it just kind of sucks for him. I do feel bad for him, which is another reason why he's not getting the giant condor, because it's like, I feel bad in giving him that.
Well, after that, Kevin Knight comes in, and we find out that he's going to be doing an open challenge right there, and his opponent is Brian Cage.
Ryan freaking Cage is back after 14 months. Good to see ya.
How does he look even more jacked? Like he already, know. Jesus Christ,
I don't know.
Holy fuck, man! Like, he was already jacked. Like, he looks even more jacked.
He's in. I mean, great hair too.
Yeah,
great hair. Like, I never really liked the mohawk look on him.
Yeah.
It made him look kind of goofy.
Yeah.
But with a full head of hair, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I see, yeah.
Yeah.
And he looked great in this match. It didn't look like he lost a step.
No,
he beat the brakes off of Kevin Knight.
Yeah, he did. He definitely made him earn that win.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
It was really good, man. Like I was happy to see him back. It kind of sucks that they're still pitting him in with the Don Callis family.
I can't wait for them to pair him back with Lance Archer.
Oh yeah, the murder machines.
Murder machine, baby.
I forgot about the murder machines, man. Look, there's another legit tag team with a name.
Dude,
and
can you imagine the 8-man madness? Murder Machine plus Doyle and Davis when Doyle gets back from injury.
Dude. That's gonna be crazy.
Oh my god. Guys are gonna get at. But yeah, this was great for Cage. I thought this was a great return. Obviously he wasn't gonna win though. Kevin Knight hits the UFO splash for the win. After eating probably like 90% of the offense.
Yeah, Kevin Knight ate a lot in this match. He definitely was on the shit end of the stick for this one.
But what I thought was kind of interesting was that Kevin Knight got on the mic after this and he thanked Brian Cage.
Yeah.
And Cage just kind of acknowledged it on his way to the back too.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not very heel of you. But that was interesting. I kind of like, I'm sure it's not like a storyline point or anything. It ain't gonna go anywhere. But I thought that was kind of cool. That was kind of a nice little touch.
Oh, that could be though. Like, hey man, these fans respect me way more than to be hanging around with your dumbass.
Yeah.
like that'd be great. You know,
I don't know. I mean, let's be real here. When there is the Civil War that happens, Konosuke Takeshita and Andrade El Idolo are going to need some more defectors on their side.
Yeah.
Who better? Great.
Yeah, who better than Brian Cage? But yeah, after that, I guess Bailey gets the mic and he talks about Takeshita versus Darby Allin later tonight, and he says he wants next. So we do find out later that Speedball and Darby are going to go at it on Wednesday. So
that's spoilers.
Yeah, come on. Did anybody raise your hand in Blue Sky if you thought Darby Allin was going to lose the title this week? Except for you guys who I already talked about, who said there's no universe in which Takeshita gets beat by Darby Allin. Because I understand your process. Anyway, after that we have the Owen Hart Foundation men's tournament bracket, which
this is a hell of a tournament.
Yeah, it looks pretty awesome.
Pretty stacked, not gonna lie.
So we got
that said, I think the path is pretty obvious.
I mean, the path feels like it's pretty obvious, but I was more, I think, excited that, like, okay, we're gonna get Claudio versus Brody and Jack Perry versus Mark Davis too, which will be cool. Those will be awesome, you know. But I was really more excited that they put this out and then said that it's starting at Double or Nothing, and that the matches we're getting at Double or Nothing, you lucky bastard, are Swerve and Bandito and Samoa Joe and Will Ospreay. Like,
I'm eating good.
Mother effer, I look like a can of peas at this point. Like, I am so fucking envious that you get to go to this show. Like, and every time they announce a match, it gets worse. And this is not where it stopped getting worse for the night, because then they put out the women's bracket later, and we'll talk about that later. But those, what I've just mentioned there, are the 4 matches that, like, 2 of them are at Double or Nothing. I don't know where the other 2 are happening yet.
They didn't announce them. So.
But we have the whole tournament there. That's all 4 of the semifinal matches or quarterfinal matches. And it looks like a really great tournament on the men's side. Oddly enough, I'm actually more excited for the women's side because it's a little bit less predictable.
Yeah, like I feel like that's great. I feel like it's great that you have the dichotomy there, where one of them is pretty predictable, but the matches are so good that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
and that you can see the story beats coming, and you can enjoy them for that, you know, on their own merits. And then the other one is almost completely unpredictable.
Yeah.
Like I when we get to that, you know, we'll go over the brackets for the women's tournament when it comes up in the course of reviewing the show. But like, man, like I'm glad that we have one of each. I like having more options.
Yeah.
One of each is great. Like, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Also, a little bit of a spoiler, one of those women's matches is going to be on the card, which means it's a women's match that doesn't revolve around the championship on the main card of the pay-per-view, which I will only ever see as a good thing.
Yes. For those of you that this week decided to take it upon yourselves to go on Blue Sky and tell the lady fans of our wonderful sport here that they should stop bitching about the women's representation on site, I will let you know that I, as a man, am not going to stop bitching until they do better at representing women's wrestling on television. Okay. Yeah. And I was told by these same ladies who brought this up that they appreciate the solidarity from the podcast bros. And I am more than happy to be that kind of podcast bro. So
absolutely,
if you think that it's bitching or it is in any way unjustified that we last week talked about how the women's division could be fixed and how they could better represent the women who are wonderful wrestlers in this organization, fucking yell that shit somewhere to fuck out. Sorry. Like, we are not with you on that one. I am going to continue bitching until the women get more time because they deserve it. Okay. And so as far as the women, like 2 women's matches or whatever being on for this tournament, being on the Double or Nothing card. Yes. And yes. Plus
could be more, but it's a step.
But it's like 2 of the tournament matches and then Tekla's title match. So that's like 3 women's matches. I think the most we've had on a pay-per-view in a hell of a long time.
Only one of the only Willow versus I guess spoiler. Only Willow versus Windsor is on the main card from that tournament. And then Tekla will face off against she'll defend her belt against Statlander, Hayter, and Shida.
Yeah.
I imagine Divine Dominion will probably have a 0-hour match. 5-minute challenge.
We'll talk about that.
I mean,
yeah.
I, mm, I want to see the suggestion from somebody on Blue Sky come true, where Max Caster comes up, initially confronts Divine Dominion about stealing his 5-minute challenge idea, and then immediately backs down because they're Divine Dominion and look at them. And it's Max Caster. Like,
I mean, you got to survive
yeah,
5 with the best wrestler alive.
yeah. I mean, it's essentially the same gimmick, just taken from 2 different angles.
Yeah.
One was comedic, and one is played straight.
Yeah.
But it's the same challenge.
Yeah.
Next was
Osprey versus Ace Austin, which this is my match of the week right here. Actually,
this was great.
And I know there's gonna be some people out there that are like, but Konosuke and Darby, and I'm sorry, but this was my match of the week. Like, it is gonna be like, okay, I love Darby, but it's hard to beat a Will Ospreay match, man. And it's even harder to beat a Will Ospreay match when you have a guy who may be just as athletic as Will Ospreay in the ring with him. And Ace Austin is showing every day why he would be a really great candidate for like Konosuke Takeshita's first international championship challenger. Like,
yeah. I feel like, you know, that TK just kind of threw Ace Austin in there for like a random match a few weeks ago, and he just maximizes minutes. Like, oh yeah, I've got this guy and he can do this stuff. Should use him more. And he just keeps getting, like, he generally doesn't win, but like, how many times did Darby lose? How many times did Swerve lose before he started getting a push? Like, you're just biding your time, paying your dues.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that Ace Austin eventually is going to get something to do, something a little meatier to bite into.
Yeah.
But right now, this was fantastic.
Oh, that was
the only nitpick I would have was I loved the match that we got, but I'm wondering if it was the right way to go by having such a competitive match. Like, if you really wanted to put Will Ospreay's new training over, it was a great sign that he didn't have any kinesio tape on him. That's a visual cue that was like, oh yeah, this is working. And then he beats him with a flying armbar that looked gorgeous, you know, after working the arm the whole match, or well, about half the match. And that was great too, to put over, you know, the diversity of the training that he's getting from Death Riders.
Yeah.
But there is a school of thought that I don't know if I subscribe to it, but I do kind of sympathize with it. Like, if you really wanted to put over the training, you would have a shorter match with Ospreay dominating. Yeah. Not necessarily a squash, per se, but like, you know, something that wasn't so back and forth. You know, if you really want to put over, oh wow, he's doing great with this Death Riders training. What are they doing in that dojo?
Yeah.
That, you know, holy cow. The way to really put that over would be to have him just destroy a guy.
Yeah.
That said, this match, I wouldn't take back this match. This match was fantastic.
Yeah, I would like to have him destroy a guy, but maybe that's a condor. I definitely wouldn't want it to be Ace Austin.
And even then, like, for him to face somebody that would be in a condor situation, to be in a, like, that's not testing him.
No.
And Ospreay wants to be tested.
Yeah.
And more importantly, I think, to the storyline, Moxley wants Ospreay to test himself.
Yeah. Yeah. So he is going against killers and having competitive matches, which I'm okay with that. Oh.
Yeah.
This was a great match. I really I liked and disliked the after. I liked, well, we'll go dislike first because we got to go chronological. So I'll go dislike first. I disliked that Samoa Joe said that Osprey had decided to be a lapdog for the Death Riders, because it was not even 2 weeks ago that Will Osprey was like, I am not a Death Rider and I will never be a Death Rider. They are just helping me in their way to be better at what I do. I feel like for somebody as smart and collected and thoughtful as Samoa Joe is supposed to be in the lore, that would be enough for him to be like, okay, he's not their lapdog. He's just over there training. It's like a guy from one gym going to a different gym and training. It's not a big deal. But no, Samoa Joe is for some reason like physically butthurt about this. And I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand the motivation at all. My sense of the motivation for Samoa Joe is at zero right here.
Well, think about it this way. Number one, Samoa Joe put aside the Death Rider thing. He's trying to recruit Will Ospreay, and Ospreay effectually, by not answering his calls, and has turned him down. I mean, he's turned him down. Like, I mean, that's enough right there to be kind of butthurt a little bit. Then you add in the history that the Ops has had with the Death Riders, even though the Ops have now more leaning towards the heel side, and at least Moxley is leaning certainly not the definite heels that they were a year ago.
It's so weird. They're this weird tween land, man.
Yeah. And I can see why. Also, Ospreay is like a Labrador. He is adorable and he's lovable, and everybody he can do the tricks and everything. Not the brightest bulb in the box.
That's true.
I definitely see where Samoa Joe be like, yeah, you say this, but you're getting the wool pulled over your eyes. This is what Moxley does. He brainwashes people. Look at what he did to Danny. Look at what he did to Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia willingly went to the Death Riders, and for what? He thinks that he's better off, but does he have any actual success to show for it?
No.
He was TNT champion without them.
Yeah.
Has he seen any gold whatsoever since joining them? No.
No, I don't think so.
Has he seen any significant singles success since joining them?
No.
No. He's had a bunch of tags and trio success, sure. Okay, fine. But what has Jon Moxley really done for him? He's just indoctrinated him. That's it. Straight up. So I see a world where Joe sees this and be like, he sees through Moxley's tactics and is like, nah. This guy, you're throwing your line in this guy. You say you'll never be a Death Rider. I think he doesn't believe it because he's like, I think his mindset is, yeah, you don't think that now. Down the road, a month, 2 months from now, you'll be more than happy to throw your lot in with them. And then I'll be here to laugh at you.
Well, it seems to me that Joe is going to actively push him that way, because he says he doesn't keep
prophecy.
Yeah. He doesn't keep leashes on his friends, and that his friends feel slighted. And so he sends Bowens and Shibata down to the ring after Ospreay, at which point the Death Riders music play and they get up and surround the ring. And there's something about a face leaning death stare from Marina Shafir that I was just like, this is great. Because she should be a face eventually. If she's gonna, she should be riding the Moxley tween thing more than the Death Riders heel thing, I think. Needless to say, I've become quite a big fan of hers. Recently.
Yeah.
She's doing good work, so, but the fact that they surround the ring, Shibata and Bowens act like they're going to get in the ring, and, Claudio and Pac and a couple other guys just kind of halfway step in, and that's
Yeah.
enough. That's enough for the ops to be like, maybe not.
Yeah.
And so they just
It's
kind of
6-on-2. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
So
You ain't that tough.
yeah.
Nobody's that tough.
I mean, you might be 6-on-2 with like, the premier athletes, but this is the Death Riders.
Yeah.
So that's a little different. So yeah. After that, we've got Renee Paquette backstage with Kenosuke Takeshita and Don Callis. And they're talking about the Double or Nothing match against Okada and about Takeshita possibly walking into that match as the world champion.
Yeah. Like, I don't see, like, if you're the world champion, why do you want to collect lesser titles? Why would you want to be the world and the international champion? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't get it. Like, at that point, you can always pivot and say, well, I want to beat Okada to say I beat Okada, and I'll put my title on the line. Sure. But, I want to walk out with 2 belts. Like, I don't know. Like, that's something that the international title holder would say going in to face the world title holder. Like, that program that promo would have made sense if Okada had given it. It's like, oh, I'll walk into my international title defense as the world champion,
Yeah.
and defend against Takeshita. But Takeshita, like, if he's the world champion, what does he need? What does he need the international title for? Yeah. I definitely want to see him. He would absolutely still want to face Okada to beat Okada.
Yeah.
But, like, at that point, like, shouldn't the roles be reversed? And shouldn't Takeshita, instead of going for the international title, shouldn't Takeshita be defending his world title?
Yeah, you would think.
In that match, Yeah. Like, the logic doesn't add up to me. But it didn't matter because I knew Takeshita wasn't going to win here anyway. Right. So, who cares?
Yeah.
The best part, though, was MJF was talking to Don Callis, and he said, I need your boy to do right and beat that little freak Darby Allin, because I don't want to shave his head, because the contract signing was going to be at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Should Darby Allin have successfully defended his belt, because presumably he was the only one who was going to enforce it. Yeah. Presumably. And given the working relationship between Don Callis and MJF, the understanding was that if Takeshita won, that if MJF got a shot, he wouldn't have to put his hair on the line against Kenosuke. So, he, as insurance, he gives Don Callis the Dynamite Diamond ring. Instead, he doesn't want to wind up being like a bald freak, like a bunch of these guys. Don Callis is standing right there. Oh, you look great, though. No, you look great.
It's
but then
funny.
The best part is Andrade comes out and he takes off his Newsies cap, and just the luscious hair that he has. It's just like he's acting like he's in a shampoo commercial, like L'Oreal commercial, and he's like, wow, with his head, like, and just rubbing it into Max. That he has got this gorgeous mane of lion-like hair, and MJF just like, grrr, he just walks away.
It's funny because MJF is like talking to Takeshita about the title, and Takeshita shakes his hand before he leaves and says something in Japanese, and from what I can tell, he said something about, haha, it's okay, you're gonna be bald soon, you asshole, or something like that.
I didn't get
so
to see
yeah
that.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's what I like. Either it was either you're gonna be bald soon or I'm going to make you bald soon, which insinuates to me that, like, even though the thing between Callis and MJF was that MJF wouldn't have to put his hair up, that Kenosuke was going to hold him to that had he won the world title. And if that's not the case,
Babyface Takeshita is going to be incredible.
Yes, he is. But if he was saying you're going to be bald soon, I might look at that as another clue that Tony Khan has dropped in Japanese on the American broadcast of the show, because we knew if you were listening to the Japanese weeks before Sheeta started acting really shady, that she was being shady. If Konosuke's saying you're going to be bald soon, maybe he is going to be bald soon.
I don't know.
So we'll see.
I know that I've had a tough time with this hair situation, this hair stipulation, because like I don't care in my own life about like my hair. Like I care that it's not unruly or whatever, but it's like my feeling has always been, it grows back. You know? I feel like this would work if MJF had longer hair that would take longer to grow back in, because that's a long time and a lot of work and effort.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm coming around. I mean, they're doing so much in this episode alone to show how it's impacting him psychologically.
Yeah.
That he really, 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 really doesn't want to be bald. That it would be a huge blow to his ego and his sense of self-worth. That I'm coming around on the step. That said, I think that they're going to go the safe route. I think they're going to have MJF go over and not have him be bald. Even though I think, quite frankly, it's far more interesting character development for MJF to be bald and reckon with what that means for him. Because, again, and I'm sorry that I beat this drum literally every week, but like he hasn't changed. Please let him learn something. Let him progress as a character. Please. Yeah. I am begging you, Tony Khan. Shave him bald and let him be remorseful. Let him be self-reflective. Let him reckon with the things that he's done and try to be a better person. I'm begging you. He could be the biggest babyface in all of wrestling if you just let him grow as a character. I'm begging you, man. I'm on my knees begging you, please. Give me something.
Yeah.
I want to like him. I want to like one of the most talented people I have ever seen in professional wrestling. He is so talented. And I want to like him. Give me a reason.
That's fair.
Give me a reason.
After that, we have the Owen Hart Women's Foundation tournament brackets. And we did find out that Willow Nightingale and Alex Windsor will be going at it at Double or Nothing. And that we will also have Persephone and Hazuki.
So I guess whatever injury Persephone had wasn't super major. Or anything.
I guess not.
I'm wondering maybe if it was a stinger or something.
Maybe. And then we got Mina Shirakawa versus Athena.
Yeah.
And Sky Blue versus Sari.
Yeah.
Which, wow. Like, we got a murderer's row of women's wrestlers in the Women's Owen. It's going to be freaking crazy.
And, I'm not super familiar with Hazuki or Sari, honestly. I know Sari had a cup of coffee in NXT.
She's been on AEW a couple of times, I think.
Yeah, a couple of times.
And Hazuki as well, I believe. So.
I really like Persephone.
Oh yeah.
Every time I see her, I'm more and more impressed with her. I think she's somebody that you invest in. Yeah. She's the future of this division.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know if you crown her champion, I could see her winning the tournament. You can make a case for most of these women.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
it's way more unpredictable on this side.
Yeah. I think the only sure things are that Sky Blue isn't advancing.
Yeah. That's the only one I know for sure. Maybe Windsor, probably not, but like, that's it.
There's a case to be made with Windsor if you're going to crown this is brought up in a couple of different things that I read from various people online. The idea of crowning both Osprey and Windsor at All In their home country.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think they're engaged. I don't think they're quite married yet, but like husband and wife basically as not only tournament winners, but then as world champions together.
Yeah.
Like that would be a cool moment. But like, I still feel like I feel like there's more wiggle room in the women's singles division than there is in the tag team division. And I think that the tag division would really benefit from the Brawling Birds winning the belts in their home country.
Yeah.
That, so I would prefer Windsor and Hayter to win those belts as opposed to Alex winning the world title, presumably from Tekla at All In. But I can still see there's still a world where I could see it happening the other way with Windsor going all the way.
Yeah. It would be cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's
I think the only one that we can definitely rule out is Sky Blue.
Yeah. Everything else is kind of iffy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is great. I love the unpredictability of it. You can make a case for Willow Nightingale. She's on her way, I'm going to collect all the belts. You can make a case for Mina Shirakawa because she's still, doing it for Tony. You can make the case for Athena, who's again still the Ring of Honor world champion and wants to be double world champion.
Yeah.
You can make a case for Persephone. You can make a case for even Serena and Azuki simply because to at least make it to the finals, because the finals are a forbidden door.
Yeah.
And maybe not one of them doesn't win, but maybe you want to make a star wholesale out of whole cloth in one tournament. You could do that with one of those women. I could see a lot of different variations and possibilities from that. So I can't wait for that tournament to start because I want to see how that one progresses in a different way than the men's.
Yeah, I'm really ready for that one. I can't wait for this thing to really get into the swing. After that, we've got Renee Paquette backstage again with the conglomeration. And Kyle O'Reilly says the quiet part out loud. Finally.
Yeah.
Kyle O'Reilly is coming for Jon Moxley. And did they announce the actual match between the two of them? Is it a Dynamite?
They would announce it on Collision.
Oh, okay.
So next Wednesday is coming Dynamite / Collision because it's another 3-hour show.
Oh boy.
There's no Collision on Saturday. It's just 2 hours of Dynamite and 1 in Collision on Wednesday. On that show, there's an eliminator match. I assume that they're going to go the full 20 since a draw is as good as a win. I assume they're going to go the full 20 and that Kyle will get his shot at Double or Nothing.
I hope
The sad part is I no longer think that Kyle is going to win. Because they haven't really positioned him since his return as a guy who could do that. They've reminded you that that he's made Moxley submit twice and everything, but they just did that. Yeah. They didn't mention it on his return to Dynasty. They put the trios belt on him instead. Pardon me. I think that, and he's been doing mostly, lovable goofball Kyle, not serious grappler Kyle. Yeah. I think, especially with Mox being a mentor for Will Ospreay, I don't think it serves that storyline for him to lose the Continental title just yet. So I think, unfortunately, that there was a time that Kyle could have won it, but unfortunately he got injured. And in that time, other things have progressed, and now I think the ship has sailed. I hate that. I hate it. I wanted Kyle to win. Because especially now, because what does it say about Kyle, the level of Kyle O'Reilly, that he can do what Konosuke Takeshita and Will Ospreay couldn't do?
Yeah.
Like that automatically puts him in that same echelon as those guys, which is a step up the card for him.
Yeah.
But I don't see it happening. I just, with the way they're positioned and the way the storylines surrounding this are going right now, I do not see Kyle winning the belts. And it makes me sad.
That wasn't all, though, because we also see the return of Mark Briscoe.
Yay, Mark Briscoe.
I'm happy. Yeah, I'm so glad he's back. And we do our word of the day, which is reunification, which I guess is appropriate.
Yeah.
And he calls out Tommaso Ciampa for a match on Dynamite, which I believe we have already announced that also. Yeah. And but he said before that, Collision is in his hometown, and they're going to conglomerate, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. And then after that, we've got a ladies trios match between the Brawling Birds and Hikaru Shida versus the Triangle of Madness, and a rare disqualification ending.
I know a lot of people hated the DQ ending. I thought it really worked well with Tekla's character. She's self-proclaimed the most toxic person in this locker room.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to hit you with the belt in full view of the referee.
Of course.
Sure. Why not? Who the hell cares? She's toxic. She loves it.
So yeah, I mean, this was a pretty good match. And yeah, Tekla pulls out the AEW World Championship, Women's World Championship, and hits Hayter as she's coming off the ropes for the 2 birds, 1 stone, while they have the upper hand and right in view of the referee. And so the referee disqualifies them. Julia Hart earns herself a fine from AEW by missing a referee.
I want that referee to turn evil.
I kind of do too, actually.
I don't know who it was. I couldn't see who it was, but I need them to slowly turn evil. I want them to be booked for every single Dem Spooky Bitches match from here for the next 6 months, and slowly but surely be the heel ref that aids that team at every single turn.
Oh, that would be great.
They're Nick Patrick. They're pocket referee. I want them to have their own evil ref.
Yeah. But during the whole melee afterwards, Shida just kind of beats feet. She escapes and doesn't help the other faces at all. But
that was the best part of this match was that story beat. I loved that. Good for you, Shida.
She does get passed up by Willow Nightingale, Mina Shirakawa, and Thunder Rosa, who come out and make the save.
Randomly returns.
Yeah, randomly returns.
With no fanfare, with no warning, no nothing. TK.
What are we doing here?
Come on, do a little better.
Yeah.
You're doing so well on so many things. Do a little bit better here.
Right.
Thunder Rosa. By God, Thunder Rosa. And you're just trotting her out. This is... I'm sorry. I'm a huge Thunder Rosa fan. So this gets under my skin.
Yeah, a little bit. I can see why. Before we go to our main event, we see another little 10-second Roosh package. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, let's go ahead and pull the trigger on this. I know it's not a return vignettes or anything that may end up being nothing, because that's happened before, but let's
I bet he'll have a squash match on the 0 hour, and then the following Dynamite he'll actually start an actual program with someone.
I hope so. It should be soon.
I think that's the track.
I mean, that would make sense. But yeah, after that we got our main event, AEW World Championship, Darby Allin versus Konosuke Takeshita. And
Lordy.
I mean, it's not my match of the week, but holy fuck. It was
We
really good, man. Oh, it was so good.
already talked about the German suplex. The blue thunder bomb from the apron to the
The
floor.
floor was nasty. It was
Jeez, the
nasty,
thud.
dude. Yeah.
Darby only weighs about 180 pounds or so, but the thud that his body made
Yeah.
gurgled my stomach.
It sounded like they slammed my fat ass. Holy shit, man. It was so just the ugly splat, man. It was just the ugly splat. And yeah, Darby, of course, just like he looks great on offense, and he's just so good at being beat up and makes everything look probably way worse than it actually is. And he sells really good, but like he has a habit of bleeding from places that make you think like, did he take a did he break a rib or something? He's spitting out blood. Like he always makes me feel like he's in genuine
he does a lot
peril.
of spitting.
Yeah,
he does a lot of spitting.
He always makes me think
he must stay really, really hydrated pre-match.
Yeah, I would hope so. Shouldn't take much to hydrate him. But yeah, I mean, this was a really good match, man. Like he's so resilient. Like he's so just
he's indestructible, man.
Yeah.
Like after the German suplex from the top rope, which is still a sentence I can't believe is coming from my mouth.
Right.
He goes for the power drive knee, and goes for the cover, but kicks out at 2 again, and that's where El Clone comes out to provide a distraction. Don Callis takes the Dynamite Diamond ring that MJF gave him earlier and offers it to Takeshita, but Takeshita does the noble thing and says, "No, I can do this by myself." And almost gets an immediate 3 count for his trouble, but he kicks out of the inside cradle. But he gets hit with an avalanche code red, and then takes like 2 coffin drops, and then it's done.
Yeah. And I mean, it was just so hard hitting from start to finish.
Oh, there was the Scorpion Death Drop on the steps too.
Oh yeah, good Lord, man, that Scorpion Death Drop was.
It's good to see that Take was willing to take and not just give. He's never had a problem with that, but like,
I would definitely think twice about taking that one.
It would be easy in a match like this to just be the one doling it out.
Yeah,
because it's Darby. And that's the Darby template. You beat him up and you ragdoll him in creative ways until he hits a coffin drop or folds you up in the Last Supper or gets you to tap. Like,
yeah. But after that, Darby celebrates a little bit, and then a crew comes out and puts up a table, and it's time to sign the contract for MJF's hair.
And it was so fast.
Yeah,
it was so fast. It was like, oh my gosh. We're getting this ready like right now. This is amazing. In WWE, this would take like a whole 10 minutes, and you'd have like full on entrances, and you'd have backstage segments in between. And, like, it's so refreshing to see like somebody respect our time.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so MJF comes out. He takes the time to talk a bunch of shit to Darby Allin, and this is gonna be mine. You've had your 15 minutes, the whole 9. Brings up Hangman again because he just can't let it go. And then MJF Darby signs the thing. MJF, hems and haws about it for a bit, but then he signs as well. And then he attacks Darby Allin and lays him out with the Dynamite Diamond ring that I don't know when he got it back.
Yeah, I don't know either.
And
I know he won 6 of them. So like he probably just has them hanging around in his pockets. But like it wasn't the one he gave Don Callis because Don went back. I mean, he probably like passed it back to him while they were getting the table set up, I guess.
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so he, stands on Allen's chest with the world title, but then he drops it and he looks like he's going to come back and attack Darby again because he's putting him up on the top rope and try to do a tombstone, but then Kevin Knight saves him and runs MJF off. Kind of as we close out there. And yeah, Darby is just like
on another
indestructible
level right now, man.
And they're, I like, we're still one more Dynamite till the pay-per-view, and MJF standing tall now. Like, go home math says that Darby may be standing tall next, but if they don't have another interaction before the pay-per-view, go home math would say that Darby wins. Like, it gets more unpredictable every step they take into this story. It becomes it's really hard for me to just pin it down and be like, MJF's losing his hair or Darby's losing his title. I really don't know. And it's going to be kind of relieving when I finally get to find out when everybody else does, so I don't know, man. You just can't call it. There's too many things on both sides that I'm like, oh, this could happen or this could happen, but it has to go this way or this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I still think that MJF wins. Mostly because I don't really see Darby making it to All In. And I don't think that MJF is going to win it just to lose it at the very next pay-per-view. I think they'll probably have a successful defense at the one in between. In this case, that would be Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he loses, but I think he should not. Right. I think Darby should win. I mean, even if he drops it to back to MJF after MJF has lost his hair, like I don't think that MJF should win here. But I'm not the one making the decisions.
Yeah. Although he could be. Tony.
Yeah. It'd be great. It'd be great.
Yeah. So now we've got a Collision, which came to us from Salisbury, Maryland. Is it Maryland?
Maryland.
Yep, Salisbury, Maryland.
Not terribly far from Delaware.
Yeah.
Where Sandy Fork, Delaware, where Mark Briscoe is from.
Yep.
They were all about Mark Briscoe.
Yes,
but that wasn't what kicked off the show.
No.
John Moxley kicked off the show in a pre-tape. Talked about O'Reilly. I love this line he had about the Continental title being the bait.
Yeah.
And brings all the dragons to his door. Is like he welcomes the opportunity to find a way to slay the dragon, his own personal dragon that is Kyle O'Reilly. Great promo from Mox. I still want Kyle to beat him, but I don't think it's going to happen. But he accepts the challenge to an eliminator match. I feel like he shouldn't have to go through an eliminator match. He's already tapped the guy out twice, which is 2 times more than literally anybody else in AEW.
Right.
So, like, to me, that gets you right to the front of the line.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have to go through this eliminator garbage. But I think the reason that we're going through the eliminator garbage is so that Kyle O'Reilly can get, at the very least, a time limit draw, if not an outright win.
Yeah.
To earn himself the title shot, so that when he loses the belt, it's not as bad, because he still has another win over Moxley.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, a draw.
Yeah. Claudio addressed Brody King briefly, saying he needs to bring the bite instead of the bark, which I think we've heard that before.
Yeah, I mean,
and then Pac, Daniel Garcia, Wheeler Yuta, and Marina all kind of emphasized that it's us against the world and against the pussies, I guess.
I guess.
Okay.
Huh.
I mean, I didn't know you guys wanted to be celibate that bad, but all right.
I mean, Marina doesn't want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
That's when we get the conglomeration, though. Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly versus Shane Taylor Promotions. A lot of Ring of Honor talent on this show because Supercard of Honor was the night before.
Mm-hmm.
On that show, Shane Taylor Promotions lost their World Six-Man titles to the Outrunners and Dalton Castle.
Yes.
Which was so awesome. Glad for them. This is the first title that the Outrunners have had, and probably since the 80s. So, Dalton Castle deserves everything.
Yeah, he should Dalton be
Castle deserves champion. Literally everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was Lee Moriarty, still pure champion. Sean Dean and Carly Bravo of the Infantry, with Shane Taylor at ringside. No Trish Adora for this one though.
Yeah.
This was fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this.
I like this a lot.
Moriarty really blending with this with like Mark Briscoe. Moriarty and Mark Briscoe blending together is such a conundrum to me.
Yeah. Two completely opposite styles.
Oh yeah.
Yet it works because mostly because Lee Moriarty is one of the most adaptable professional wrestlers I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's really good, man.
He can do pretty much anything you want. And then Mark Briscoe obviously is a pro's pro. So
yeah.
But this match would set a trend that would go through the rest of the show. Not only would this Ring of Honor talent be all over the show, but they would show up and show out, maximizing their minutes every single time.
Yeah, the Infantry and Moriarty really went all out.
They really were impressive.
Yeah,
I liked it. They didn't win, which I mean, you call that coming. You saw that coming, but it's just when you've seen so much wrestling and have been fans for as long as we are, sometimes you appreciate the losing efforts more than the guys who win.
Yeah.
Because of how much effort they put into it, despite the fact that they're just going to be looking at the lights later.
Yeah. Briscoe hits a froggy bow on Sean Dean, and then a J driller, and that secures the win for the conglomeration. Yeah, it was a really good match, man. I had a lot of fun watching it. I still like Shane Taylor better when he's beating up children, but I guess I'll give him
that leg drop on the apron though.
Oh,
yeah, baby.
I wouldn't want to take a leg drop from that dude. His legs are so big. It's like
he is that dude has the biggest butt.
Right?
That I love Shane Taylor for the same reason that I love Eddie Kingston, in that they are so believable. You believe they are authentic. You believe everything that comes out of their mouth is 100% the truth as they see it. Like, I would not want to mess with that dude at all. No way. Not in a million years.
Yeah.
I would rather be in an alley with Suge Knight than that dude.
I don't know. I don't know about that. After that, we go backstage. We've got Will Ospreay talking about Samoa Joe and Moxley. He basically says that he's been struggling in his matches. The doctors have stopped them, and that he's upset he didn't get his revenge on Mox, but he's more upset that he can't be the guy he's supposed to be, and that regardless of how he feels about the Death Riders, he can't make people understand why he's doing what he's doing, and that Mox is the ace, which is something that we have all been saying pretty much this entire time.
Yeah, we may not have liked everything that he's done since, turning heel and turning the BCC into the Death Riders. That first few months of that title reign were rough, but that doesn't mean that he's not the ace of this company.
Yeah.
He's the one there. As Will says, he's a soldier for this company. nobody is more pro AEW. Maybe Darby, maybe, but
Yeah.
I like nobody is more frontline soldier for this company and for what it stands for and what for its potential than John Moxley is.
Yeah.
And Will brings that up, and he's like, I want to be that guy too.
Yeah.
I thought this was a great promo. Like, Will Ospreay, before he came to AEW, was widely considered by a lot of people to be the best pound for pound in ring wrestler in the world. And since he's gotten signed, he's proven that he's a great promo too, given the right circumstances. This dude is about as complete as you can get in terms of a performer. Like, dude's incredible.
Yeah.
Love this guy.
After that, we've got the conglomeration backstage and Kyle O'Reilly addressing Mox again, saying that he's putting all his chips in and he's going to submit Mox. And then Briscoe steps up and he says that he challenged Ciampa, but he hasn't heard a word from him. And but if he's scared, he should step up and say something. And then Orange Cassidy kind of passes it off to Willow, who said that she's ready to defend the TBS title and win the Owen tournament. And someone reminds her that her match with Red Velvet is right now. And man, okay, so besides the very early potato from Red Velvet with her foot across the bridge of Willow's nose, I feel like Willow tried her best here to make this a passable match, and Red Velvet tried really hard to make it cheeks. It really seemed like Willow was like really fighting, man. Like,
I don't know. I liked it. I
thought
liked
the
this
match
a lot.
was good, but I really felt like Willow was the reason it was good. Like,
I don't know, man.
Red Velvet was like, there was a lot of little fuck ups that maybe someone in the business would see that other people wouldn't necessarily see. And they did really good at playing, like a musician, continue to play the song. Nobody will know anything happened.
Right.
But it was a lot, man. And you could see in some cases, like you could see the result on Willow's face. Like, fuck, man, that just did not work out like it should have. And there was a couple of times where like things were just a little bit off, just a little off kilter, just a potato in the fucking face. Just, like, man, like, I like Red Velvet, but like I just don't feel like this was her best work. And I feel like a lot of it was saved by Willow just being as good as she is.
I mean, maybe I'm not as in tune with that. I thought it was great. I personally, like, I thought that, I think that when you're, okay, so I'm not a fan of potatoes in general. Like, the whole point, like Bret Hart says, is like, you're supposed to look like you're hurting people, and the art is not doing it.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, if that happens and I missed it, all right, fair point. But, like, to me, I feel like when you're as diminutive as Red Velvet is, in order to come off as credible, especially with somebody who's probably close to twice your weight, you kind of have to be aggressive in order to be believable that you could, win.
Yeah.
Compete, let alone win. So I feel like Red Velvet's aggression here, in the moment, to me, it just read as her doing what she needed, that character doing what she needed to do in order to compete against a much larger opponent and beat them. To me, that's how it read.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the way they were trying to play it.
Yeah.
And just up to a certain point in the match, it just seemed like they were off kilter with one another. And after a certain point in the match, it seemed to have fixed itself. But by that point, we were pretty much at the end. And that's probably not a them problem. That's probably a time they were given problem. Now, like I said, I'm not trying to be too negative here. There were good parts of the match, but there were some definite like places where I could like rewind the tape and be like, all right here, y'all were just a second off from where like from each other. Not, this isn't it just a little bit off. Like because you can see the result of that mistiming in the end result of the move. Because there was a couple of slams here and there that were just like oh, she didn't really land right on that one, and it was mostly a positioning issue, not either one of them is a bad wrestler. Because Red Velvet is obviously not a bad wrestler. She is good.
Yeah.
This was not the most brilliant work either of them had ever done. It wasn't a terrible match though. It definitely wasn't my least favorite match on this particular card. So, take that for what you will. It's not. I'm not trying to be too negative. I know I was like super down on a women's match last week, but I feel like I had a reason to be.
Yeah.
This week, no, I'm not really trying to be that negative about it. It wasn't terrible. It was just for two ladies that are this good, I just expected more. And I don't feel like I'm out of place expecting more because they both are that good. They both are very good. So, it was kind of a miss for me on the hit miss scale, but not terrible.
That's too bad. I liked it. I don't know. At least I can only speak for how I felt about it in the moment, and I was happy with what I got personally. So
yeah. Well, I can see that. I can see that.
Agree,
like
disagree. Then I guess.
Yeah. We're good at that. So
yeah.
After that, they show a little video package about the history of Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara. I didn't realize Guevara had beaten him like 6 times.
Yeah, 4 times he said, and I hadn't. I had to. I was like the blinking meme. I was like, what? How 4 times?
Really?
How is that even possible? Like, but yeah, I guess it's. And in me, I love that they brought that up because when they initially announced Sammy Guevara as the next guy to get a world title shot, I'm like, Sammy is not really in a position to be. First of all, he's based barely on AEW. He's mostly on Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
In a tag team. Like, where is this world title shot coming from? Like, well, what's the justification for this? But then they showed this. I'm like, oh, okay. He's got Darby's number.
Yeah.
And he's picking the bones. And they would play into that in the match too. Like,
yeah,
I was satiated once they showed this promo. I was like, that makes sense. Okay, like Darby still is not going to lose this match, but like at least it made the booking of this match make more sense to me. Yeah. So I was far more accepting of Sammy Guevara getting this random world title shot for no reason.
Right.
Once that was brought up and pointed out.
After that, we have Sammy Guevara backstage with Lexi Nair, and he cuts a promo basically saying all the stuff we just talked about. He's beat Darby 4 times. He definitely can, but that also, if he beats Darby, he's going to face MJF at Double or Nothing and shave him bald. So yeah. Pretty much every challenger that Darby's had so far is saying, hey, we're going to hold him to that shit, whether we win or not.
This time, he's already signed the contract.
Yeah.
So it's in there. It's going to be enforced. Yeah. Regardless. But it makes sense because Sammy and MJF have their own history.
Yeah, they do. They do.
I like that they keep on beating the drum and reminding you, nobody likes MJF.
Yeah.
Nobody.
They had the bad run in when it was like Pinnacle and Inner Circle, right? Because I started watching it.
And then when during MJF's first run, I can't remember which pay-per-view it was. I want to say it was Double or Nothing in 2023 or whatever it was. And they had a 4-way, the Pinnacles match, or the
pillar match.
Pillar match, the 4-way with Guevara. I remember because Guevara, it it was a really weird build where MJF was trying to get all buddy buddy with Guevara and like pay him off and stuff like that. But it also had Darby and Jack Perry. This was part of the process of Jack Perry turning heel. Was his loss in this match would be kind of like the first. It would get the ball rolling, and then I remember it was this match that Guevara entered into the build as a heel, but like as he was getting introduced, he let everybody know that he was going to be a dad. And at that point, it was like it turned the crowd because like who really wants to boo the guy who just shared that kind of information with you?
Right.
You know, it's like who wants to do that? Like, yeah, oh, that's great that you and Ty are having a baby. Boo you, you suck. Like nobody wants to do that. They feel grody about doing that. So it was a really weird. I remember that being a really weird dynamic, like right as the match was starting.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, he knows he's basically saying he's going to hold on to it. After that, they go.
Oh, but he said that he would give him a nice fade too,
which
I thought that was funny.
Like, what do you mean a nice fade? He's got a nice fade on the side. You're just going to zip the top, leave the nice fade on the side like a horseshoe fade.
Oh, you remember Horseshoe? The wrestler Horseshoe, late stage WCW.
Oh yeah,
his hair was in the shape of a horseshoe. Get it?
After that, we go backstage to Lexi Nair also, which is weird because she was just here.
She had a really busy night.
Yeah, she was busy. And she's with Darby, and she asked him about his upcoming defense, and he basically just talks about MJF and almost completely ignores the fact that he's facing Sammy Guevara, who's beaten him before.
Yeah.
He said, why am I here? It's because I love this. Even if I'm risking losing the world title, I love it. And he's like, if he walks out world champion tonight, Speedball, he's going to give you a shot on Wednesday. So, yeah, he basically confirms the title shot right there.
Yeah.
Letting us know, hey, Sammy's definitely not going to win this, even though we kind of knew, like, Sammy showed up once in 6 months. He's definitely not going to win the world title. I mean, this is how wrestling works, folks. Like, it's kind of an art form, and this is part of it. Like, certain things work certain ways. And if you're contracted to a company and we only see you once every 6 months, if you pop up for a random world title shot, you are not going to win.
Nah.
You will not. So,
no.
This is the part where it's predictable, but like, there's so much unpredictability to some things, like that we can't just say, oh, we know everything that's going to happen, because the fuck we do, like
no.
They don't have competitions for this, like for being able to guess the best or even be able to like bet on it at bookies. Like they don't have that because it's predictable, guys. Like wrestling is so unpredictable that you can literally put Vegas bets on it. Because nobody knows except the people who run the companies, and they are not running off and telling the bookies who's going to win. They're not. No. It's a closely guarded secret, even in the time post kayfabe. So, if you leak a picture of the board, your ass is going home for good. Like that's what it is. So, there's something you will never find a wrestling journalist with in their possession, and that is a picture of the booking board. Because if they get one, whoever sent it to them will never have a job in wrestling again. Not ever.
Closest you're going to see is probably on an episode of WWE Unscripted. Yeah. But that stuff's months old by that point, so who cares?
Yeah, by the time you see the booking position there, it's we're watching, like, I'm pretty sure right now they're covering stuff from the Rumble. So, I mean, it's months ago, so it doesn't even matter if you see the board at that point. But, like, if you see it before the show happens, somebody is blacklisted immediately, folks. Like, it is not hard to get blacklisted in the wrestling industry. So, after Darby has his words for MJF and completely ignores his opponent for the evening, we go
he doesn't completely ignore him. He says he's crazy like I am, and I like that.
Yeah.
But that was about it.
That was it. After that, we go to Tony Schiavone and Nigel McGuinness, who they start to talk about, what Guevara and Allen were saying. And then they say, oh, no, we got to go to the back. Something's happening. And we see Ciampa and Briscoe fighting it out. It immediately spills out into the ringside area. And, Briscoe kind of takes the upper hand in it. He's like trying to fill the ring with chairs. And he gets Ciampa into the ring, but Ciampa hits him with a low blow and then starts smacking him with a chair. And then he puts him up on the turnbuckle and sets up a chair in the middle of the ring, and he hits him with a second chair, and he's going to go for a psycho killer onto the chair, but he gets saved by Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly. And then Briscoe said that he grabs the microphone and he makes it clear that he says it's become clear that the only way to handle this is with an anything goes match, which when you're feuding with Mark Briscoe, that is kind of the inevitability, is that you're going to get into a match where there are no rules and both of you are going to leave bloodier than shit. And that's just what this is Mark Briscoe's bread and butter here, folks. It's a pattern. Yeah. And I'm not against this pattern at all. I fucking love it. I love it. I fucking love it. So, and I love Tommaso Ciampa. I'm a huge fan of Tommaso Ciampa. The only time I've ever been glued to NXT in its entire existence was when Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano were beating the shit out of each other on a regular basis. And I am a huge Tommaso Ciampa fan. And I feel like the way he was treated on the main roster in WWE was a huge fumble, because this man is a fucking brilliant fucking ring genius. Like, the motherfucker can go. He can go with the best of them. We have only scratched the surface of how good Tommaso Ciampa is in AEW. He will be an AEW world champion eventually. He will. Like, he's older. Yes, you can see the gray in his beard. That guy's probably still got 10 good years left. He's such a high level wrestler. Like, he can really do his thing, man. And he works so safely despite being a complete fucking psychopath.
Yeah. He makes everything look incredibly violent, but nobody has ever complained about him being unsafe to work with.
No, not at all.
Not a single thing have I ever found about that.
Yeah. Him and Briscoe are about to have the safest fucking Armageddon style match ever. Like, this is gonna be great. And if that anything goes match is gonna happen at Double or Nothing, god damn it, Adam. Like,
no, it's happening on Dynamite.
Oh, they're actually gonna do anything goes at Dynamite? Oh,
yeah. They announced it for Dynamite.
They're not even doing this. What else do they have slotted for this pay-per-view that didn't make it on to make the cut? Like, holy shit. Because that should be on the pay-per-view. And I bet that they both feel that way too. And Wednesday's about to be fucking nuts.
Yeah.
After that, we got go ahead.
Yeah, as it stands, there are 8 matches announced for the show.
Is that pre-show included, or just the main card?
No, just the main card.
So we're gonna get 2 or 3 pre-show matches. So it's at least 11.
Plus, we're probably gonna get Kyle and Mox at the pay-per-view for the Continental title.
11 or 12.
So, yeah. We've got Okada versus Takeshita, FTR versus Cajun Cope, Stadium Stampede, Tekla versus Sheeta Hater and Statlander, Samoa Joe versus Will Ospreay, Bandito versus Swerve Strickland, Willow versus Alex Windsor, and Darby Allin versus MJF.
Yeah.
So.
And I bet we'll see probably the Cookie Dude and his kids. Yeah. And there'll probably be a Divine Dominion match somewhere in there.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, nothing has been announced yet for 0 Hour. I imagine that you're probably going to get a women's tag match, probably a Roosh squash. Maybe a national. No, not national title defense, because Davis is in Anarchy or Stadium Stampede. Maybe a Kevin Knight TNT title defense.
Yeah,
probably. I bet. I bet he defends the TNT title in the main event at 0 Hour. I bet that's what happens
against Speedball, maybe. Oh.
Maybe.
It looks like that might be going that way, actually. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I had this weird feeling that that's where it was going to go. Even though they didn't say it, I have this weird feeling that's where it's going.
We shall see.
Yeah. After that, we've got Joe and Bowens versus Lethal Twist. And
Yeah. They build this as a match of proteges because Jay Lethal was once Samoa Joe's protege, and now Anthony Bowens is under the two injured Samoa Joe, and Lee Johnson is under Jay Lethal's charge. So, yeah, a lot of like kind of history, converging on this.
Yeah. Which is weird. It's weird to me that like it's just weird that Jay Lethal is an enhancement talent in a way.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I like that, to be honest. I feel like it's Jay fucking Lethal. Like, do something with him. Same way I feel about like Shelton Benjamin. Like, it's Shelton Benjamin. Do something with him. Like.
I mean, I think having him at least challenge for the trios title along with Big Shotty and Vanilla Baby is probably not out of the question.
Yeah. I think it'd be a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
Especially with Vanilla Baby, especially, man. That kid is.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that his match with Bandito for the Ring of Honor Men's World title was just. People are calling it match of the year contender. So
yeah, that's
I can't wait to finally catch up on it. I haven't been able to yet, but I definitely wanted to. Now that I have my AEW, I can actually go back and check the whole card instead of just like searching for matches on YouTube.
Right.
So, but yeah, this was pretty decent. Nothing like spectacular or whatever. Probably the things that stuck out the most to me were Jay Lethal screaming, "I hate you! I hate you! I hate you!" And Joe, as he was pummeling him on the ground, and Bowens really starting to open up on this, some newfound aggression.
I like that.
I like that a lot. Yeah. I like that a lot because, like, even in the great matches that that led up to him being accepted into the ops, he got a lot of shine, but he didn't really have like an edge to him, to his delivery. Whatever, hanging around with Samoa Joe, whatever he was missing, he's in terms of the delivery of his moves, having like a certain style of aggression to them and grittiness to them, where it didn't look quite as choreographed. Those edges have been sanded down, and it works now.
Yeah,
like whatever Joe said to him or worked out with him on, whatever it was, Bowens has that now, and that is really going to serve him well. I think.
Yeah,
it'll give him that extra layer of his character that he needs.
Yeah. After that, we've got
Bowens got the submission win.
Oh yeah. Bowens made Johnson tap with what did he put him in?
What was it? An arm thing.
Trying to see if I wrote it down.
I can't remember exactly what it was.
Because I know Joe put Lethal in a coquina clutch while it was happening, but I don't actually see what he put. Oh God, I'm an idiot. Okay, yeah, I'm bad at writing things down apparently. But yeah, so Bowens made Johnson tap with something, and the Ops got the win here. Good match though. It wasn't bad. After that, we had video package.
Gigi Gatami? Was it?
Yeah, maybe it was.
Which is funny because that kind of mirrors how Will Ospreay won too. So maybe a match between those two down the line, focusing on like who has a better arm bar or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be good. After that, we had a little video package with Swerve talking about his recent hunt of Bandito, and including, I guess, he ambushed him at Supercard.
Well, Bowens he grabbed the mic after the match. Remember?
Oh yeah,
cut a promo that was just
really face-ish.
Yeah, it was. I wouldn't say faceless. I mean, he was putting himself over. It was like he said that he was lost over the last year. Found himself a place you could call home in the ops. Samoa Joe is teaching him how to be a killer. This, that, the other thing. Then Joe took the mic and said that because Ospreay said that the match that made him want to be a wrestler had Samoa Joe in it. I did a little research, and the match in question was the triple threat match in TNA for the X Division title. Him and Daniels, AJ Styles, which is still one of the best triple threat matches in history.
That's true.
I was Unbreakable, I think, 2005.
Maybe.
If I'm not mistaken. Just incredible. If you've never seen it, go out of your way. The build to it's incredible. And then the match itself, to hear Christopher Daniels tell it, they actually had more prepared in that match, but accidentally skipped over some of it because somebody got lost. And so they had to kind of like make it up on the fly for like the last 5-10 minutes of the match.
Oh,
and it still wound up being nearly perfect. Like, incredible stuff. Sorry, I felt like I didn't want to do disservice to Bowens. Like he got on the mic, he put himself over. You know, the fans seem to really resonate with it. So good for Bowens. I'm glad to see him finally get something that's not Max Caster related at all.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah,
finally for you.
It's been happening a long time ago.
Yeah. But yeah, so then we've got Swerve Strickland's Bandito Hunt video package, and they talk about how he ambushed Bandito at Supercard of Honor. And so, I mean, we really do have like a bit of a feud going on here. And now they're going to meet at the quarterfinal of the Owen Hart Foundation at Double or Nothing.
Even a vertebrae through the chair.
Ugh, gosh. Oof. Nasty. And then after that, we've got Brodito together, basically answering Swerve. And Brody, you know, he starts to step up and talk about how, you know, he warned Swerve and he was going to take him out. But Bandito kind of calms him down. It's like, no, I have to do this myself, you know. And that Swerve might be the most dangerous, but Bandito is the most wanted. Mm-hmm. And then when Bandito's done with him, he's not going to be a danger to anyone. Which is crazy because, I mean, that's a valid threat. Bandito is one of the best wrestlers on the roster. So,
yeah, I don't like it that Bandito is taking these non-title losses, though. He's the Ring of Honor world champion.
Yeah.
And when he's defending the belt, he looks like the best wrestler on the planet. But, like, then I mean, I imagine he's going to lose to Swerve here. Belt won't be on the line. Didn't he lost to Andrade at Dynasty. No belt on the line. No follow-up. You know, it's just, you know, the build-up to that was Bandito wanted to fight, and Andrade was like, yeah, I want to fight too. Like, that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
The match was great. Fantastic, really. But Andrade won. He didn't win clean. I think he hit him with a low blow before he hit the DM. But he won the match, never followed up, never wanted a Ring of Honor title shot. So, like, you beat the world champion and you don't even... His title doesn't even rate going after, even though you know you can beat him. Mm-hmm. Like, the disrespect, man.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like, I'm not a big fan of Bandito, Ring of Honor World Champion, taking these non-title losses. I don't like
I'm not either. Especially with how good he is.
Yeah.
It's like, after that, we have a Divine Dominion copy-paste. I really don't like their promos, man. Because it's the same one. I've not had a visible change in their promos this entire time. I need something new here. Like, let's get them with that lady that does the video packages and get them a new video package or something. But like this, every week it's pretty much the same promo, and then I hear a sound in the distance.
Ooh, I think it's the oncoming of the giant condors of the week, Kaya McKenna and Alley
Alley Catch.
Catch.
Why did they do Alley like this?
Fresh
Oh,
off of the end of her GCW run, which, from what I understand, was kind of disappointing. Like they built up this big match. I mean, it was drawn out because Allie got injured, I believe, in the lead up to this, and so they had to postpone the match with Effie. But from what I understand, their blow off match was not good.
that's what I
That
heard
seems
too.
to be the consensus, is that
Yeah,
it was
I
built
didn't
up and
see it,
built
but
up
I
and built
heard.
up, and they are, best friends in real life. So usually you have great chemistry with the best friends, right?
Yeah,
But from the consensus of what I'm hearing, I didn't see it myself, so I cannot say my own opinion on it because I don't have one. But from what I understand, the match was not good.
Mhm. I heard that also. And yeah, I can't give my own opinion because I don't have one. But that is also what I hear. And but still, man, you gotta bring Alley Catch on and do this to her. Like, come
Yeah,
on,
she's still
guy.
she's still a name on the indie scene. Like she's
Yeah.
still, she's done a lot of intergender wrestling and stuff like that. You know, she has a devoted following. But yeah, she got the tar kicked out of her. I don't think she even got to tag in Kaya McKenna.
I
She
don't
just,
think so.
I think she just got the brakes beat off of her.
Yeah. And this 5 minute eliminator was over in a minute and 57 seconds.
Yeah.
Which, oh man. This title change cannot come quick enough.
Well, it's
It just
probably not
can't.
going to come all that quick.
Yeah,
We
probably
still
not.
got a while before we get to London.
Yeah, that's true. Ugh. Yeah, okay. Well, let's move on.
We may have an intermediate feud though, brimming on the horizon.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll get to
Uh,
that in just a sec. But
yeah. I actually don't know. I know it happened, but I'm trying to see if I actually have it written down here. Oh yeah, I do. Okay, it's here in a couple of minutes. But after that, we've got a package recapping how we got to our 4-way match for the AEW Women's Championship between Tekla Stat, Hayter, and Sheeta. And I think this is probably going to be a really good match, and Tekla's going to win.
yeah, I think that's. I mean, I don't think this was the plan. I think the plan was Persephone, and then she got injured. But clearly, she wasn't like super duper injured because she's still in the Owen. Although we don't know when the match will take place specifically. There's a lot of time between now and Forbidden Door though, so whatever.
Yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, I think the plan was Persephone. That the way she subbed in for Windsor, I think it was, and then got blacklisted. It seemed like they were setting up for her to go through the Triangle of Madness in order to get to Tekla.
Mm-hmm.
She is the CMLL Women's World Champion right now, so it would make a lot of sense for her as a challenger. But yeah, I think the injury just threw a monkey wrench in there, and you know what the old adage is: if you can't give them what you advertised, the very least you can do is give them something better than advertised.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now there's 2 more women in this match than there were going to be initially. So
yeah. After that, we've got Lexi Nair backstage. She's with Athena and Mina Shirakawa, and Athena talks about her really, really long 1,250-day title reign. I think she's pretty close to having maybe the longest title reign ever. Well, no, because Hogan had it for like 4,000 days or some shit, didn't he?
San Martino had it for like
San Martino, yeah. God, I would love her to have the longest title reign ever, but I really don't want her to be or ROH champion that much longer.
Yeah, honestly, like I don't have the patience for it. She needs to be on this AEW roster
Yeah.
now.
The only thing I didn't like about her and Mina being face to face here was that she called Tony Storm Tonti again, and I still don't fucking understand. I still don't get it, man. I I don't get it. I don't get it. Someone please explain this shit to me.
I think
Um,
it's just a purposeful mispronunciation of her name
yeah,
because just cause.
just cause I guess I don't know where it came from. It's I don't know. There there could be other things. But either way, I'm glad we got Athena on AEW TV. I'm glad we're gonna get some more of her guaranteed on AEW TV because she is in the young.
So Bruno's first reign. Well, okay, so Bruno's second reign was 1,237 days.
Oh.
His first reign was 2,803 days.
Oh yeah, I'm not waiting that fucking long. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to wait that long.
That's like 4 more years. Um, so yeah, let's just get that offer. Let's get her on on AEW TV full time, please.
Yeah.
After that, AEW finally gave me a reason to give a shit about Leo Rush. Holy fuck! So this was my favorite part of this new Leo Rush character right here because this showed me that this is not a supernatural character and this is not some kind of mentally deficient, out of his mind, pure psychopath. This is a truly mentally ill person who you do not know who you're going to get at any given time. And that there still is a person in there who is a little bit normal, even though we proved towards the end of this that he wasn't really that normal. But this made me like it and understand it a lot more than I had in the previous weeks. Like I said, I wasn't adverse to the way he was wrestling. I thought it was interesting and unique, but the character itself, I just wasn't really sold on. I'm still not completely sold on it, but this did a lot to show me like, okay, this is what they're doing. And I need more of this. I need more of him being kind of normal, but still really weird. Like it's okay if he's weird, you know, but like I I need more of this, like more outside the ring, more meaningful like development with him still to get to a point where I could say I'm a fan of this. But this makes it better even if I'm not a fan. This makes it better for me than just what they presented us in ring so far. So I thought this was good.
Yeah, I liked the reveal. He takes the shit. I also love the implication that they sent Nigel to do this interview because everybody else was too freaked out by him, didn't want to go near him.
Yeah.
Lexi Nair didn't want to go anywhere near Leo Rush.
Like Nigel just beat Josh Woods, and now y'all go. That's why he beat Josh Woods. So like, hey, you can handle Leo. It'll be all right. Yeah.
But I love the reveal after McGinnis leaves. You know, he takes down the shades and he's got the red contacts in. And he's clearly whatever he had in his cup. You know, he had the black liquid. Just it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
Like, oh, such good stuff. I'm digging it.
Yeah.
I'm digging it.
I thought this was good, man. After that, we had some more stuff that I thought was good and dug, and we got for the very first time, which was an actual Rascals trios match. They actually got to all compete together, and they lost, and I'm so pissed off at that part. Because Mark Davis and the Dogs could have definitely ate this L, and it would have been fine. And they should have, because the Rascals outperformed them in every aspect of this match.
Well, here's the thing. Those people have a match on the pay-per-view, and the Rascals don't.
For fucking shame.
Yeah.
For fucking shame. The Rascals, now I'm not expecting them to have like a trios title shot because this was their very first match as a trio. But like, I bet any combination of the two of them could probably make a case for a tag title shot. And Myron specifically could probably be like, hey, I could get a TNT title shot out of this because he's pretty much won every singles match he's had. He's been very good in all of them too. So, I mean, the fact that they're not on the pay-per-view is a little irksome. The fact they took the L here is a little irksome.
I think he lost one. Was it against Fletcher before he got injured?
I think it was Okada.
Okada, that's what it was.
So
it was Okada, yeah.
So, I mean, which I expected fully, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But still, like, I thought the match was good. I thought it was really good, and the Rascals really just like maximized the fuck out of the time they were given here because they're even more impressive as a trio than they have been as a singles or a tag, and that's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
they were already good in my mind. I was like, man, these guys are fucking fantastic. This is just more proof that I'm right. I love being right. So.
Yep. But the finish came with the gut wrench pile driver into the last clip by the Dogs. I gotta say, I like the last clip as a finish, or the full clip rather.
Full clip, yeah.
Full clip as a finish. They called it the last clip accidentally online or on the card, and that's why I was remembering it incorrectly.
Tony Schiavone called this show Dynamite at the beginning, so
yeah,
there was a lot, and he also said that they were still in Asheville, North Carolina, even though they're definitely in Salisbury, Maryland. So
yes,
yeah, I love you, Tony, but maybe it's time to give Daniel your seat and do the JR thing, maybe. I do love Tony Schiavone, though. I'm not saying retire by any means. I'll be happy if he sticks around, but those mistakes are becoming more and more often. So, maybe put Bryan Danielson at the, because I need more of him at the desk, but how do we rotate this? Because it's like you got Riccaboni and you got Nigel and you got Taz, and like I want all of them to be on the commentary desk like all the fucking time. and if not, then I need 2 completely separate teams for each show. 6 guys, 3 on each show, and different guys. Like Tony, you're gonna have Schiavone on there. Just have him on Dynamite. Give Bryan Danielson his seat on Collision, and then you have 2 completely different sets of guys, and that's cool. That's fine right there.
Yep.
You know, because you could have Bryan and Nigel and Riccaboni on Saturday nights, and you could have Schiavone and Excalibur and Taz on Wednesday. There you go. And then you have John Moxley sit down whenever the fuck he wants to.
Yeah. I think, with Brian, the travel's an issue. I know with Ian, they only do him. He's a member of his local school board, and I know that he coaches baseball.
Yeah.
He's he does
a lot
guy.
with his kids. Yeah, he does a lot of stuff, man. That guy is
very busy guy.
Doing
so
cool shit.
He can only kind of do things when he can, and when the tour kind of comes into at least a locality that he can easily get to and from there.
Yeah. Imagine being like one of the most respected wrestling announcers on the planet, and you choose your work-life balance so hard that like you just tell them like I'm only gonna be there for certain shows, and they're just cool with it because you're so good at what you do.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
You know what? Like, not that I would want to replace anybody, but who I wish was part of the rotation was Morrow. I loved Mauro Ranallo. I thought he got a real raw deal.
Out of WWE, yeah, he sure did. Yeah. He's fantastic. I get to see Mauro a lot because he is so respected in the commentating game all around that he commentates football and boxing also, like European football and boxing. And so I get to hear Mauro all the fucking time because I watch boxing anytime I get a chance, and I watch fucking Go West Ham. Yes, you can blame Green Street Hooligans for me being a West Ham fan, but I do fucking love West Ham. And so, like, I get to hear Mauro a lot, like, in Premier League soccer, because I watch all of it. Like, I am a West Ham fan, but I'll watch, like, Liverpool, and I'll watch Arsenal and all this other shit. And so I hear him a lot. Like, he is not fucking hurting for work. That's for damn sure. And I'm so happy about that because I was such a big fan of his when he was a WWE commentator. I was like, this
Yeah,
guy
me too.
brings a legitimate sports feel to this. And that's something the sport has needed for a long fucking time. And it was weird to me that they didn't hire him at AEW off the hop, especially when they were still doing the rankings and shit and really trying to push the sports aspect. Like, Morrow
Yeah.
would have been the guy to put in that position. He would have been the guy. Like I would have put him in Excalibur's place at the beginning and maybe moved Excalibur in when they decided to drop all that stuff.
Yeah. Maybe.
And
I
that's
mean,
mostly just
he was
because
there
of the
from the outset though. Like, I don't think they're ever gonna get rid of Excalibur.
No,
Like,
I'm
I mean,
not
because
I'm not
he,
advocating for him to be gotten rid of at this point at all. I'm just saying like if they the way they presented it as a sport at the beginning, they
yeah,
should have started with someone different, like someone more sports oriented, not wrestling oriented. Especially when they had guys like you got play by play guys like Shivani and JR and like at the time, JR was like the premier play by play guy in
yeah,
wrestling, so you had people to do the thing, not that I don't like Excalibur, but I mean, I've heard
yeah. I
people
mean,
on both sides of that fence, but I like him. I think he's great.
yeah.
Uh,
And I mean, it was an easy get for them because he was, one of the like 7 or 8, what is it, the guys who owns PWG.
mhm.
So he had that pre-existing relationship with the Young Bucks.
Did
I
he
think that
actually wrestle, or is he always just
he
been a
did. He
personality
did.
in a mask? Because
No, he wrestled.
okay, okay,
I think he retired from that a long time ago to do mostly commentary for PWG. But I think he won their title a few times too, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
yeah.
I'm
But
gonna look it up.
so after the Rascals and the Dogs, we go backstage again with Lexi Nair, and she's talking to Anna Jay, who said that Willow might have been her, but might have beaten her, but she didn't kill the comeback, which is completely contradictory to what we have been being told for these last few weeks about Willow's you know comeback killer thing. But then
Yeah,
Anna just said, she says that they have some other business to take care of, and that's when Ty Mello shows back up. So hey, we got Ty back. I don't exactly
yay!
know where she's been. I didn't hear about
I
any
don't
injury or
really,
anything like that, so I'm not sure where she's been. But I'm glad to see her
no.
back.
The last we heard before Anna Jay's comeback, the last we heard of either of these two were was when they lost in the women's tag title tournament,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then they just up and disappeared for months.
yeah, and
Like they had kind of like a goodbye-ish segment, one that was like it made you think that, oh well, this was their swan song and they're going to be leaving or whatever. Especially there were rumors with Anna Jay swirling around her that she might be leaving to go to WWE.
yeah, I'd heard about that at the time. Yeah,
That does not seem to be the case now.
no, and
So
please, yes, any legitimate contender for the freaking women's tag titles, please, anybody.
yeah,
And if it's these two, fine, I'm cool with that. These guys both earned my respect bleeding their fucking asses off in hardcore matches at the beginning of
hell yeah,
AEW during the pandemic era when nobody was fucking watching really or gave a shit because wrestling just was not the same during the pandemic era. Let's all be real. Okay.
yeah,
And like I took a fucking almost year-long break from wrestling, man. I just didn't really watch. And the reason I didn't is because not because there wasn't good wrestling, because there was. It was because it was fucking weird.
yeah,
And anybody who wants to tell me different is lying to themselves and trying to lie to me. And I saw it, man. I saw it. It was weird. Even when they decided, okay, we're gonna bring the wrestlers in to be the crowd because they can be in the building, it was still weird. And then like when WWE did the Thunderdome thing and people were like putting up pictures of Chris Benoit and Klansmen and all kinds of shit, like that was fucking hilarious subjectively, but like it was still weird. It was not like a live crowd. It was just
yeah,
weird. So, yeah, if you want to tell me the pandemic shit wasn't weird and that most of us don't really remember what happened then because we really weren't watching that much, don't lie to me. But one thing I do know is that these ladies were bleeding their ass off for this company well before,
yeah,
we were putting 10,000 people a week in seats. Okay. well before that. So
It's true.
they got my respect. And if you want to say that they are legitimate contenders to the tag team championship immediately just because they're a established tag team, fucking A. You don't have to give me another reason. That's enough.
Yeah.
So I'm happy she's back with her back. Tony Khan always seemed to favor her a lot. So maybe the women will get more time just by the virtue of her being there and Tony fucking being a big fan. Maybe that'll help. And anything, like I said, I won't stop bitching until they're better represented. So let's go.
Yep. Another baby step in the right direction.
Yeah. And then from there, we move directly to her husband, Sammy, as he takes on Darby Allin in a no count out match.
Which is kind of becoming like a Darby staple.
Well, I mean, really, you got to think about it. I mean, before Darby Allin had the world title, at any time he hasn't been belted up, like he's not really constrained by championship prerogative. So he didn't have to stay in the ring. He wasn't going to lose his title because he was out somewhere. I mean, he won't now. Like he wasn't going to lose a title because he was reckless or spent too much time outside the ring or whatever. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
And so the best thing they could have done is say, okay, his title matches are going to be no count out, because then he's not got to cheat. He just gets to do all the shit he would normally do and just be outside the ring, because Darby Allin's wrestling home is not inside the ring. It is on the mats outside of it.
Yeah. I still say that it's a weird quirk of AEW where they don't consider putting somebody through a table as cause for disqualification.
I actually like that.
I mean, I think it's weird that they don't explain why.
Well, I mean, okay. Here's how I would think about it. As a referee, okay, like if you threw me into a match, regardless of company, nameless wrestlers, doesn't matter. We're talking purely on match logistics here. Okay. You throw me in a match and you say, take everything you know as a referee and you determine how to referee this match. And then you tell me it's going to be a no count out match. Okay. In my referee brain, I automatically assume this motherfucker is going to be filled with furniture. So if somebody, I got a default though, because okay, there's furniture no DQ and furniture DQ. Okay, because there are instances of furniture use that don't result in a disqualification and really never have, but there's famous ones, the ones you can look at. Okay, Mark Briscoe grabs a chair, puts it in the ring, and uses it as a vaulting point. Usually using a chair in the ring whatsoever would be cause for disqualification because it's in the ring. But he's just vaulting off of it. No one gives a shit.
Yeah, because he's not using it as a direct weapon, right?
Now, normally you would think, table, okay, that's a direct weapon. But how do we treat it if they come off the top rope to the outside and the guys go through the announce table? Is that a DQ? If the announce table is not a DQ, another table is not a DQ. And historically,
but I've seen, not in AEW, but I've seen in other promotions, most notably in WWE, where maybe not so much in recent years, but historically, doesn't matter. You go through it, you put somebody through a table, that's a DQ. Announce table, one you set up, doesn't matter. In fact, the whole reason that a tables match was invented was to get around it.
Yeah. Well, now, for all intents and purposes, these days, if somebody goes, for me personally, referee, and if somebody went through the announce table, I probably wouldn't treat that as a DQ because it's a part of the ringside area. It's not so much a piece of separate furniture as it is part of the set dressing, part of the set itself.
Yeah, but mean it. I've seen the distinction with the steel steps. If they're there in their position and you pile drive somebody on the steel steps, that's not a DQ. If you pick them up and use them as a weapon, a bludgeoning weapon, that's a DQ.
Yeah.
Still window dressing.
Yeah. You're not using a table as a bludgeoning weapon either way. I mean.
Yeah, but you are breaking it on purpose.
I mean, that's fair, but you're going through it too. I mean, it's just as much risk to the person giving the move as it is to the person taking it. And that's always been kind of established.
So it doesn't matter how you go through. Like if
Maybe
Sammy Guevara, for example, in the opening minute of this match, gets the hugest ladder that you've ever seen, puts Darby on a table, and Swanton bombs him right through it to the floor.
I applaud.
Would it have been different if he had? Would it have been different if he had power bombed Darby through it?
No. I think in that case, the only thing that would have made it different at a DQ is if he had hit him with the ladder.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if he goes up on there and power bombs him without a table, it's twofold. Okay, it's the same thing. You're still power bombing him off a ladder. Without a table, it's actually more dangerous. The table is, I mean, effectively a catch function. You know, like in the absence of 3 or 4 other guys who can stand there and catch you, a table works much the same way. Because really, it doesn't take much to break it, but it will kind of soften your landing. I mean, it's a plywood table versus 2 inches of foam floor. On concrete. Yeah. So basically, like in the interest of safety, we don't make it a DQ because you want to be able to do cool shit like come off a ladder. You need a table underneath you or a couple of dudes.
Yeah.
And so we wouldn't call it a DQ but just for safety purpose. Like that's a safety thing, really. It just looks cool. It's a table. We're breaking the table. It looks fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
But like, especially in Darby's case, like, no, I wouldn't call it a DQ if I'm refereeing a Darby Allin match specifically. But I do really appreciate that AEW sticks to what they say. Like tables aren't a DQ in AEW matches, and there isn't 1 or 2 referees who do DQ you for that. You know, they stay solid. Like wherever they set the parameters of the rules for their promotion, they stay there.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot.
The consistency is the more important than
what the actual, because there's little differences
like
in every
watching
company.
It's like watching a baseball game and having an umpire call their strike zone all over the place. It's infuriating.
Yeah.
But even if you don't, but as long as they're calling it consistently, even if you don't necessarily agree where they put the strike zone or how wide it is or whatever, if they're calling it consistently, at least it's like, okay, well, at least the batters can adjust to that. And it's not just willy-nilly, whatever he feels like, you can't trust him. He's consistent. You know, the consistency is there. You're right. But yeah, like I thought this match was interesting because Sammy Guevara definitely was. This was his audition to get back on the main roster, basically.
Yeah,
he did everything under the sun he could think of to impress, and honestly, this was the first time where Darby Allin really finally kind of started showing signs of cracking, because like he had him in the Scorpion Deathlock and then like passed out, you know, in the middle of keeping the hold on and stuff like that. You know, it's like you could see, okay, he said he was going to go till the wheels fell off. The wheels are starting to buckle now.
Oh yeah,
you know,
they're buckling like crazy.
We're at the point in this where, you know, even Sammy Guevara, who probably, given all of the other people who Darby Allin has defended the world title against, probably lowest on the pecking order of that list. Even Sammy Guevara is looking like, oh, he could do it if he's smart and he keeps pressing this advantage, knowing how much Darby has taken, how much punishment he's taken, not only in this match, but in the last month of defending this belt. Sammy could do it. Like, he couldn't. You know, your logical, I know the tropes, you know, wrestling brain, you know, steps in and says, Sammy Guevara, really? No. But the way they were telling the story, the way that Darby was selling it the whole time, And the way that Sammy, to his credit, played the character perfectly and just never let up, swarmed him at every opportunity. Didn't even do a whole lot of taunting like he normally does. I don't think he even did the kip up thing that he does, where he like floats up into it. I don't think he even did that. And that's like a staple of every Sammy Guevara match I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Same with like the little tranquilo pose. Like he didn't do that in this match. He kept on him and he kept on him and kept on him. And really, Darby looked really lucky to get this win over Sammy Guevara.
Yeah.
They're telling the story. To the people that you were talking about earlier who were complaining about how this, you know, this is one note and everything, it's like this is the point right here. This match, you can start to see the wheels are starting to buckle. Mm-hmm. I imagine on Dynamite, he is going to survive Speedball by the skin of his teeth and not much else.
Yeah, because you know he's going to.
In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if the finish was him getting a surprise Last Supper or inside cradle or something.
Yeah.
I don't think that ends with a coffin drop, and it certainly isn't going to end with the Scorpion Deathlock.
No, probably not.
He's probably going
to take him to the limit. I mean,
he's going to survive Speedball.
Yeah.
He's not going to win so much as survive. Because that's the next step. That's the natural progression of this story.
Yeah, I think so too.
But yeah, this match was Guevara looked like a killer here.
Yeah, he did.
He was like I said, it was like he was auditioning to get back on the main roster and throwing literally everything, throwing all the stuff at the wall. It was like something's got to stick.
Well, I mean, I can imagine if he's like, "Oh man, well, my wife's about to be back on the main roster. Maybe I should get my ass back up here."
Yeah,
I mean, I would go out and probably do the same. You know, just like put it all out there. Like, well, what do you got to lose?
Yep. And honestly, the finish of this match was kind of out of nowhere. Like, I think Darby Allin took like 95% of the beatdown here. Like, Guevara barely got any offense in on him, and it looked like it took Guevara doing a 630 through a table that Darby was on top of but moved at the last second.
Yeah.
And then a coffin drop once he was inside the ring. It was Guevara's own mistake that did him in. It wasn't anything Darby did.
No.
It was Guevara's hubris that did him in.
Taking too much time to get up there and get that shit going.
It was his match to win or lose. But Darby found the opening once he was able to roll out of the way, and Sammy crashed and burned in spectacular fashion.
Oh, yeah. That was crazy. He just, like, hey, man, we're going to need you to take a 630 through a table with nothing else catching you.
Okay.
Ow. Ow.
Like, I'm back on TV? Sure, I'll do whatever.
Apparently, I mean, give this man his TV spot back. Shit.
Yeah.
If you're going to push Roosh, push him. They're in the same damn faction.
Yeah. Where's that tree? Where are those?
Is Roosh the other half of the tag team champions?
It's Mortos.
Oh, it's Mortos, but he's having visa issues right now, from what I hear. So,
yeah,
that sucks.
He and Listico.
Oh, that's whack. They need to figure that out. He's a lawyer now. He should be able to figure this out.
You would think.
Well, hopefully they get it figured out. Tony Khan's got the money to make anything happen with immigration-wise, I'm sure. So let's get her done.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that was Collision. It was really good, man. I'm kind of really interested to see this the Speedball and Darby match on Wednesday, and the Ciampa and Mark Briscoe match, because that's gonna just be madness.
Well, I guess there's just one thing left to do.
You know, we gotta do like the pros do and call in the ring.
That's right. This week, in celebration of the annual return of the Owen Hart tournament. I think we're gonna talk about Owen Hart. I think he's worth talking about. Given the tournament that bears his name, has become an annual tradition in AEW. Owen was great. Like he was just. It was. I remember watching his feud with Brett in 94, 93 and 94, and just like, or 94, 95 rather, and just it really resonated with me because I was a huge Brett guy. I have 5 younger brothers. My the one closest to me, Garrett, who did our theme song. He and I, we were watching wrestling, and we would always have little wrestling matches in the backyard or whatever. And a lot of times, because we weren't really smart to the business or whatever, we couldn't really see a lot of patterns or whatever yet. But we would base the winners of our matches on whoever our favorite wrestlers. Okay, this guy's facing this guy, and whoever wins that is okay, you be Brett and I'll be Brett and you be Owen. If Brett wins, then I win. If Owen wins, then you win. Owen never won the one time. So, in arguably the best opening match in WrestleMania history. But yeah, it was just the one time. But the one time was enough because Owen was able to. He knew instinctively what he needed to do to make the most out of it and ride that wave. He would later go on to win he beat him, and then he watched Brett later on that same show beat Yokozuna to become the World Wrestling Federation champion again, and then won the King of the Ring, called himself the King of Hearts, and staked his claim to be the number one contender. They had another incredible match inside of a cage at SummerSlam '94. And then he went on to have a hand in Brett losing the world title to Bob Backlund to give him a transitional reign before they put it on Diesel. He had a great underrated tag. Nobody remembers the tag team with Yokozuna, but I thought it was fantastic. Thought it was great. They played off each other really, really well.
I don't remember the tag team with Yokozuna. Holy shit!
He had what was it? It was WrestleMania 11, I think it was. He had a mystery partner that he was going to bring. Yokozuna had been out for a while, but he came back to be the mystery partner, and he beat those two beat the Smoking Guns to become the tag team champions that year.
Oh,
it was. I loved that tag team too. It was classic big guy, little guy, and Owen was so good at getting heat all the time. He was trash talking all the time. Later on, there was that really emotional reunion to form the new Hart Foundation with Owen, Brett, Jim, Bulldog, and Pillman, which I still think for having only a 3 or 4 month run was still one of the best factions of all time. I don't care what anybody
they
says.
were great.
I loved that faction. I loved the Hart Foundation. And Owen was a key part of that. He was a 2-time Intercontinental Champion. Unfortunately, he has the distinction of accidentally breaking the Stone Cold's neck, forever changing the trajectory of his career.
Yeah.
Notably, he stayed after the Montreal Screwjob. I think that his contract held him back from. I think they pulled some legal stuff that prevented him from leaving. He got what I believe was his last world title shot ever against Shawn the following month. and then they just like relegated him to stuff that was honestly below his station. But he does.
Yeah,
I mean, he was also the only white guy in the Nation of Domination for a little bit.
that's true.
Um, he had a little mini feud with Jason Sensation, which was great because Jason's impressions were his impression of Owen was incredible,
Yeah, it was
spot
really
on. He had some awesome. Owen also had great theme music pretty much throughout his career.
Yeah, he always did have really great theme music.
And then, unfortunately, he passed away in an accident that never should have happened. Man, it was too soon. Like you never, even as a kid when you don't really know like the ins and outs of wrestling and the mechanics of how it all works. You form these kind of parasocial relationships, even with the heels.
Mm-hmm.
And Owen was always best as a heel, and he was a heel most of the time.
Yeah.
And I remember being really struck when he passed. Because, like, he wasn't like, he was mostly a bad guy, and it still really hit me. It's like, oh man, that's awful, and I'm really gonna miss him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite thing he did, like when he won the 2 Slammy Awards, and he became the Slammy Award winning Owen Hart.
Mm-hmm.
And like he rode that shit for like a year.
He was the only one who made the Slammies matter ever.
Yeah, he's the only person who ever turned that into a gimmick worth the fuck. And like, yeah, he was the Slammy Award winning Owen Hart, and he was just like such a smug prick about it. And it was like the best shit. Also, you didn't know about it till later, but I've seen clips now where like he made so many people like break character, like just corpse in the like holding onto the tag rope and dying, or just like completely breaking their character. Like he did it to the Undertaker and Stone Cold and like a bunch of other people where you just like there's videos where like he does something just ridiculous and they just start dying, and you don't know that's what's happening unless you've heard the story. From like whoever else was in there with him. And it was just like
there are tons of stories like that too.
Tons of stories like that. Like
the dude was a practical joke savant.
Yeah. I really need like to get an Owen book, like a biography of him, because like that the shit that they talk about when they do when shoot interviews happen that mention him. They always talk about how great of a person he was and like how funny he was and how
family
he would
man
fuck you up in the ring with like the gnarliest jokes and like do stuff that you don't expect because he's like this super family man. He's like the nicest guy ever, but like he made Stone Cold Steve Austin break character with a fart, like, like. And that's the kind of shit that I like hearing about, like, and he's legendary in that part of wrestling, like he's just, he's
my favorite Owen Hart rib story was, there was the one in your house where Triple H, who wasn't Triple H yet, he was Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Greenwich, Connecticut Blue Blood. And he was facing Henry Godwinn in a hog pen match.
Oh.
And so they had these pigs that they had rented or whatever. And so they're at the arena and the pigs come in and Owen happens to be there. When they're trying to ask, where do we put these animals until it's time for them to be used in this capacity? And Owen said, oh, I know right where to put them. He has them put in Vince McMahon's office.
That is the best place for them to go.
Oh, it is the best, most appropriate place for them. And like, apparently, the best part is that apparently Vince knew who did it. He knew who put them there, but nobody would rat him out because it was just too funny, and they didn't want, and they loved Owen like a baby brother, and they didn't want to see him get in trouble for it. So nobody came forward to rat him out,
Doesn't surprise me.
which is honestly, like, given how like competitive and how, kind of ratty wrestler culture can be backstage,
Oh, it
actually
can.
says a lot about the love that they have for the guy.
Yeah.
Because in any other capacity, if he had been loved like 5% less, somebody would have ratted him out just to score political points with the boss.
Like even Sean didn't rat him out. The biggest political guy who
Even
hated his
Sean.
brother for real did not fucking stooge him off, which is,
Well, to be fair, this was before he and Brett had issues, but
but still,
um,
Sean was a
yeah.
prick by all means.
Oh yeah, Sean was
Back then, he was a
definitely a
total prick. Yeah.
Yep.
He would say that himself, folks. That's
Oh
not
yeah.
me talking. That's not me talking out of turn. He says that shit himself. He knows he was a prick back then, and he was, by all accounts, a huge prick.
Yeah.
But yeah, Owen was like not on like the match with Brett at WrestleMania really like turned a corner with me for him, and I think it did for a lot of people because it was like, oh, this guy
Yeah.
is like really a capable wrestler. Like he's really actually fucking really good, despite how he's been, presented to us. Because I mean, there was like the tag team with the bull with British Bulldog where they made him wear the stupid like checkered and neon shit.
Oh, that was with Coco
Oh,
Beware.
with Coco, yeah,
High energy, I think, right?
yeah, but like there's a few times where like they really try to stick him in a stupid gimmick, like the Blue Blazer gimmick that he died in was a stupid fucking gimmick. Okay, but he put his all into it because that's what he did. Like
Yeah.
you give him something, he's gonna run with it. That's how he made the Slammies even a little bit important. Like he did that. Like
Yeah.
people don't realize that like the Slammies would have been a one-off thing if Owen hadn't been like, I won 2 of these and now I'm the best on the fucking planet.
Yeah.
And then they
Yeah.
were like, oh, I guess we got to keep doing this because like this guy just made people want to know who's going to win next year.
Yeah.
Like, so, like,
his job was to make it important, and he made it important.
yeah, he turned shit into gold quite a bit. And it's a rare talent who is able to turn shit into gold at the rate that Owen Hart did it. Like,
Yeah.
he turned all kinds of shit into gold, like just all kinds. And then he did all kinds of stuff to, just like he was just by all accounts, a solid human being, and that's really rare in the wrestling industry. Like
Yeah.
somebody like him being in the wrestling industry, having as many friends as he does, like friends are not really a thing in this business. Yeah, everybody's got a few, but like they're not really like a thing where like you might have 5 guys who like you, but you don't got 10 or 20 or 30. But Owen,
It's
like
very cliquish. Yeah.
everybody liked Owen. And
Yeah.
that's enough for me to know like the kind of person he was, because this business is a shitty place and there's a lot of shitty fucking people. And like if a bunch of different people who most of whom don't even like each other can agree that like that's a solid dude, that's probably
Yeah.
the case. So yeah, I mean, by all accounts, cool, solid guy, great wrestler, great fucking wrestler. And the master of turning Vince's bad ideas into funny shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Brett would always say that he always insisted that Owen was the better wrestler than he was.
I don't
And
think he was
she
wrong
did.
about that, actually. I just don't think we got to find out.
I think that he had different skills. I don't know if he was better. His punches were terrible.
He was probably the better all around package.
Yes, I mean, he could definitely fly better than
And
Brett
well,
ever
I
could.
see. I think Brett, like, he could fly better. He was kind of a better promo. He was better at turning a shitty character. Because Brett was always the same character, and it wasn't much of a character. It was just the hit. Like, Brett was just a technical wrestler, and he was really good at fucking wrestling. Like, kind of like Shibata. Like, he was the
Yeah,
wrestler. Owen was a character
some
package,
of those
man. Like,
anti-American promos were pretty scathing, though.
yeah, but he was still Brett. Like, he was still
Yeah,
just the same Brett. Like, but yeah, I mean, he did a good promo. He wasn't bad at promo. He just, like, I wouldn't like have been like, I wouldn't see them giving Brett the blue blazer and expecting him to run with it. Like
no,
Owen did. Like, so Owen's got, like, he's got that. He's a wider character variety, more comedy. He could fly better. There's a couple other things he did better. Like, he was more of a complete package as a wrestler. Brett was just such a good technical wrestler
yeah,
that it was undeniable because he was so good. Like, you couldn't, like, he could have been a completely stone-faced shit character. He was so good at wrestling that you couldn't, like, ignore him.
yeah,
Owen could have easily been a world champion off of a character. Like, and we
yeah.
just didn't get to find out, man. We just didn't have the time to find out because people were stupid and fucking negligent. And it's a fucking shame that we had people being negligent like that cost someone their life. But in the wake of that, we got good things because the Owen Hart Foundation is a wonderful charity. Very well managed, wonderful fucking charity. His legacy is done right by the charity and his wife, who runs it. And then, as wrestling fans, we get the Owen, which is one of my favorite tournaments every year because it includes both women and men.
Yeah.
So many tournaments, including Best of the Super Juniors that I'm watching right now. No women. There's not a women's version of that. There fucking should be.
Yeah.
Um,
Still waiting on the Rebel tournament.
yeah, we're waiting on the Rebel tournament. Hopefully, it's a C2 style thing, and they just run them concurrently.
Yeah.
But hopefully they or maybe not concurrently. Maybe they run the Rebel in between the Owen and the C2. That way, maybe she can be here to see it. And then we can run it concurrently after that, whatever. But the first one needs to be like post haste, motherfuckers. Post them.
Yeah.
But we do have the Owen going on right now. But like that's dude, just another good thing that we got in the wake of a tragedy. But probably the coolest thing for wrestling fans, because it's a tournament that year after year showcases a bunch of what you could consider like total package wrestlers. People that really favor Owen's style. They're great characters and they're good wrestlers, and they're just a full package deal. Everybody in these tournaments is that person.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people can be like, well, how do you know that about the foreign wrestlers? Well, because Persephone is. We've seen enough.
Yeah.
And Sari and Hazuki are not fucking unknowns, guys. Go YouTube. I did it. And it showed me enough to know they're fucking hot shit. So it's not unreasonable to say they might win. But yeah. Owen was great. And it's kind of our point today. that Owen Hart really was a fantastic human being and a fantastic professional wrestler. And it's a shame that we didn't get more of him. And that, maybe like we may not have the Owen today, but if he lived, we could still have the Owen and he would just be presiding over it.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. But yeah, it's doing his legacy proud, as is the charity that bears his name. So hopefully that will all continue status quo. And I'm very excited to see how the Owen starts out on Sunday.
I can't wait.
That being said, that was our show this week. Little housekeeping. Adam's going to Double or Nothing next week. So we will not be recording an episode next Sunday, so that Adam does not have to, go record this podcast from a hotel or anything dumb. And also so he can enjoy his weekend, and I'm going to enjoy my weekend, and we're going to have fun, and we're going to watch our pay-per-view, and we will be back with you guys the week after to talk about the pay-per-view and what's happened on Dynamite and stuff like that. And then after that, we're probably going to, well, depending on how quickly they move along the Owen, we'll talk more about that. Adam and I will decide for sure after that point what we're going to do. So we will figure that out. But we will at least have sometime in there a one-off about the Owen to keep up with it before Forbidden Door. So that said, we love you guys. Thanks for joining us this week. It's a shitty world out there, so keep your head on a swivel. And as always, Buckeyes.
Buckeyes.
Peace.
Peace.